And a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to Dire Dawa. It's on the eastern edge of the Great Rift Valley, just about 515 kilometers east of Addis Ababa and 313 kilometers west of Djibouti. You will come into a city that blends industrialization, urban life and rural life all together, jutting out of the desert into the city of Dire Dawa. The chartered city has a very beautiful center and surrounding rural areas and has markings of civilization from prehistoric to modern times. So that will be a story that we'll follow up for you slightly later on. We are into an Ethiopian Premier League match. It's Kidus Georgis that is taking on Sebeta Ketema. We are going to go into round 16 of the Ethiopian Premier League. Now it's the second leg of it, so Kidus Georgis is in the third position in the league, and they are just behind Fasil and Ethiopia Buna. And then they are taking on a team that is 8th on the Ethiopian Premier League, that is Sebeta, with 18 points. And Sebeta itself is struggling to either move up or make sure that they're not sinking slightly lower on the Premier League table standings. And so they are in a not very enviable position, but a position that they really have to work hard in. They are just below Walkite and Walaita and Hadia Hossaina, and above Awasa and Dire Dawa and Sidama. So they are going to be taking on this game. The center referee is going to be Lydia Tafese, the international referee who was also reffing at the CHAN, actually did the first game of the CHAN, and who's also destined for the Women's World Cup, who's going to be taking on the game today. Nice to see that a good number of players who we didn't notice towards the end of the league are also in the team for today. And among them, a few internationals as well. Frank Natal is one of those who has come into the Ethiopian Premier League. Now, the former Township Rollers coach, Frank Natal, has had a very checkered career. He's been to Kenya with Gor Mahia as well. He was in Sudan recently as well, with another team altogether. He was at Hearts of Oak in Ghana. And has made a very big journey from the time he went into being in the coaching unit. He previously worked as a fitness coach for a couple of other teams as well. So he's got a very, very, very lively kind of CV if you were to look at him. Gor Mahia in 2016, Zamalek as an assistant in 2016, and then Hearts of Oak and El Hilal, Township Rollers, and now finally to St. George. But the focus will be on the lady who is a nurse by profession. We're talking about Lydia Tafese, who's going to be taking on the field to ref this game today. The match commissioner, Getachew Yeman Birhan, has already brought them onto the field of late. And there's going to be a couple of other things that you will be noticing on the field, which we will take you through as we wait for them to all line up. Now, the interesting thing is they have to make a long walk down from the other side towards the main stand. And that will be quite different from what you're used to, where they walk out from just your picture right in the middle from below. This time around, they'll be walking from the other side, coming down into the center, just for the usual technicalities before we start the game. Mr. Getachew Yeman Birhan charged with the responsibility of bringing them onto the field. And then Lydia Tafese will take it over from there together with Shewangizo Tebabel and Siraj Nurbegen and Eyasu Fente. Going to be a little bit of an exchange of pleasantries as well at the stadium. I'll tell you something about the International Day of Sport for Development and Peace as well, because that's what they will be carrying onto their hands, a little card that is promoting peace in the world. Baru Negash will be in goal for the St. George side. He's playing only his third game after Liam Birhanu, who was the regular goalkeeper. Up at the front are Manuel Gabriel Mikael and Getani Kebede will be charged with the responsibility of getting goals. Occasionally, Kene and Markne also comes into the picture with goals as well. And Intosina Tadane will be helping out in defense together with Frimpong Mensu, the Ghanaian, who's also come back into the team after a little bit of an absence. This will be the Sebeta side. And The Sebeta side is looking at how they can move themselves up from where they are at the moment. Lydia Tafese, Shewan Gizao, Tebabel, Siraj, Nur Begin, and Eyasut Fente will be the men taking care of the game. So for Mr. Getachew Yeman Birhan, who's the match commissioner, his duty is done. Here is the Sebeta side. Now, a new man in this team altogether. Mawoli Osei will be up at the front to help Fitsum, Gebre Mariam, and Bocha Shura. Now, Fitsum needs to be able to get more goals. He scored in the game against Awasa in the 57th minute. But then they have got that new man who they really must use in this game to be able to get the best. Patrick Matas is still on the bench for St. George, but he's at least made it onto that bench. He was totally missing in the previous lineup of the St. George side. Now, you will want to know as well that Maher Davids has departed St. George, and Frank Natal, the Scotsman, has come into St. George. That's him. I was giving you his very long CV. From the time he went into coaching, having come in from a fitness coach, he went to Gormaya as a coach and ended up at St. George. This is Abraham Mebratu. He's been a national team coach before for the Ethiopian national team and also the Yemeni national team coach. And he came back into the country to take over Sebeta. Now, even before this queue goes on, I must take this moment to congratulate the Ethiopian nation for qualifying for the Africa Cup of Nations. In as much as you'd like to celebrate on your own, I must remind you that we are celebrating with you as East Africans as well. Thank you very much for the representation in the Africa Cup of Nations. We'll be right behind you. That we take the matters back into the Ethiopian Premier League. Some of the players you will be seeing, of course, did duty for the Ethiopian nation in the international window to make up for that qualification. Mari commentators is Marcos Elias and Jonas Azeze. I'll take you through it in a language that you're accustomed to in Ethiopia. I am Bernardo Tieno. I am in the company of Gilbert Celebo. We'll take you through in the English commentary for the 90 minutes of it. Gilbert, it's good to be back. We know Frimpong Mensu is also happy to be back into the St. George side. It's good to see him in the defense as well. But St. George itself is in the third position. They're chasing Fasil and they're chasing Ethiopia Buna. They have a new coach as well. What happens when you've got a new coach coming in the second leg of the league? Do you go on the ascendancy? Does it affect your philosophy? Do you quickly adjust to the new philosophy? What advice do you give the players?
Well, I think for the players, they will definitely want to get in the better books of the new coach and, show him that they made it to be in the first 11. And also, looking at St. George side, there are a lot of expectations from the side that has one of the best, teams that have come around. Having a very bad time in the last 5 outings in Bahadar, winning only 2 out of the 5 matches, 8 points out of 15, which was not a good outing. And I think both sides of the divide, these teams would want to at least put something on the table this afternoon.
Well, that's a good way to sum it up then, and hoping that they will be able to give some very good work. Actually, Utamene is fouled in this. He's going to get a free kick for it. And it was very quick to be noticed as well. But St. George didn't have a very good time in the last 3 matches they played. They drew 1-1 with Awasa, drew 0-0 with Diradawa, and lost to Fasil. That's the kind of record they come in. But if you look at Sebeta, they won against Awasa, drew with Diradawa 2-2, and drew with Fasil 1-1. So where St. George lost, the Sebeta side drew. And where St. George drew, they also drew. And where St. George drew with Awasa, the Sebeta side won against Awasa. You always have to look at the one-on-one, Gilbert, to find out whether you're doing better or not. It's
very interesting, Bernard, you brought out that point. Actually, Sebeta never lost in the last 5 outings when they played in Bahadar. So they have had a very good record coming to this bubble.
You're right, they didn't lose. They won against Adama and won against Walkite. Slim 1-0 wins. So they are a resilient side to be able to see here. I also have to remind you that we'll be playing our matches in the Ethiopian Premier League from 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and confirmation will be coming in about 7 o'clock in the evening as well because of the heat in Diradawa. You know by now that it comes out of a very semi-arid area, and the temperatures, in as much as they average 27 or 28, occasionally can go up to 39 and 40. Stefanos will be picking it up for the Sebeta side. not much of a change in the Sebeta team. Gilbert, you are saying that played the last game and that is coming in to play this first game in this segment of Diradawa.
Yeah, absolutely. They've the only inclusion that is on the Sebeta side is from the number 77, Osei Mawuli. Otherwise, they've retained the same lineup that they played with in Bahadar.
We'll see his contribution into the game as we proceed. It's going to be a corner. This is going to be the first corner of the game for Sebeta. They've made a very short one. It's the second corner, I beg your pardon, for Sebeta. Still have it in the midfield, looking for a chance to try and convert here. I'm not exactly sure why that was taken in a little bit of a hurry while it was in a prime position for the captain himself, Masood Mohammed, to be able to take it, Gilbert.
Well, it's the early hours of the game, and you expect that Sebeta are really pushing hard to try and see whether they can be able to get onto the scoreboard as quickly as possible.
Yeah, we know early hours of the game. We know that some people have scored in 57 seconds.
They're the most vulnerable times. The first 15 minutes.
Yeah, so he should have actually taken advantage of that. But he even looked at the referee to try and see whether he was wrong in what he was doing. I think he was just second-guessing himself. It's going to be picked up again by Sebeta, trying to find a route to come out through. Frimpong Manso is so far away from his line. Then Abdul Hafik Tofiz will decide to start it on his own side. The players are oozing confidence, especially after the qualification of Ethiopia in the Premier League, and a couple of the players would probably be here, Gilbert, in this game.
Of course, Bernard, this is a motivation in itself because a lot of local players were involved in the qualification, and therefore they would want to give their all to at least claim a stake in the AFCON.
Yeah, here's a left foot shot coming off Getane Kebede. That is easily taken by Mintesi Notalo, the goalkeeper in the Sebeta side, playing his 8th game so far for the team. Oh, his choice of colours is worrying me because of the heat. I thought he would have wanted to go for a lighter colour, just to deflect the heat a bit. They say the white does very well. Well, you can't doubt Frank Natal's goalkeeping skills as well. Very easily picked up that ball that was going to go off the field of play. It's his first game for St. George. And I think the 3 draws, the 2 draws and the loss of St. George, that's to Fasil and Diradawa, and the draw to Awasa, is what now compounded Mahir David's problems.
Of course, Bernard, you expect that St. George, who have not won this league in the last 2 or 3 seasons.
3 seasons.
3 seasons. There are a lot of expectations from the team, and therefore, any coach who comes knows that he's coming in a very heated seat. And, and Mahir Davis knew about
41 degrees Celsius is the heat that you're talking about. Literally, the heat in Diradawa puts you on the hot seat. It doesn't clear it. That this was a perfect chance to just send it back into the net. But then again, it comes so quickly to the St. George forward, who doesn't put it in the net. I think he should have taken advantage of that, shouldn't he, Gilbert?
I would call that complacency from Bentesi Notalo, one of the national team players on the team this afternoon. And Abel Yaleo, that's a golden opportunity. That's an
easy chance for Abel Yaleo. I wonder why he wasn't paying that much attention. He's cut off by the St. George side. Yeah, you always want a game with goals, and you want them to come very early as well if you can. But Abel Yaleo didn't look like he knew that ball was going to be going in his direction. He has 2 goals to his credit. He would have been making a 3rd one. Here is another chance here that Sebeta will pick up again to try and use too much of fancy play in that box. St. George now decide to come out with it. Kenyan Markney. An intended through ball for Yaleo. Again, he cuts diagonally across, tries to put this in the net as well. Had 2 minds as well. He wanted to see how he can get the better of the defender who was coming onto him, Antena Tesfaye. And plus, he also wants to move into a better position And then he tried to, just displace the defender a bit and shoot correctly, but it doesn't get the accuracy
good
right.
Communication, good communication between Abel Yaleo and, of course, Getane Kebede, trying to utilize that space right in behind this back four. And that speed in itself shows you that anytime you give them space, they will definitely kill you on this one.
Well, Sebeta themselves will have to look for a chance to be able to go through. It's still in play, this one. The cross in a very good position, looking for a chance for a shot. Here is that new man, Osei Mamoni. Going to be a foul here, right in front of the referee. Very well placed. She's just going to mark the area there. There was a little bit of a fear on Frimpong Mensu that he might be coming in for a card. But Osei Mamoni certainly knows which direction to turn and how to get a foul out of it as well. Plus, he had set himself up for a shot earlier.
That's very good. That's very good screening of the ball from the new inclusion, Osei Mawilu. Initially, you saw a very good shot from him on this right foot, and it's actually left-footed. You would say he's fleet-footed.
Fleet-footed? Yeah, that would mean very fast-footed. But yeah, he's a man who can shoot on both feet, and that's usually a very good quality for a striker. But occasionally, you wouldn't even know where he's going to be going to. So this is going to be a free kick, and I think David Stefanos is one of the men who's organizing to be able to take it from outside the box, and it seems like he wants to go directly. Well, taking a little bit too long. I think they're waiting for the referee as well. David Stefanos is the man who's going to be taking it, lifts it just slightly above the wall, but again over the bar and out of the field of play. It's going to be a goal kick. It's going to be for the St. George side.
Well, not
it took too long, did he?
Not well executed. I mean, you'd expect this because they've taken about 2 weeks of break, and some players will come in a little bit more rusty.
But they're not just arriving now into the game. They've been training in readiness for this.
There's what we call match fitness, and just the normal.
The competitive edge of
it
is what is probably still affecting them up to now. But this has gone off the field of play. Going to be a throw-in. Yeah, he really had to pull himself to punch this out. Talking about the goalkeeper, Baru Negas.
Yeah, that was a very good ball from David Stefanos from a good range. But the goalkeeper, of course, just proving that.
I think he wasn't even sure whether he wants to tilt it out or because he almost had it in his full palm and then deciding that the momentum of it is enough to push it out. That's why it went onto the crossbar as well. Sebeta started again from their side. Haile Michaela Defris gets it back. Yeah, the worry was dilly-dallying with it there and being forced into a mistake here. Is a little ball down on the right side. It's offside. Destade will be judged to have been offside. But you don't dilly-dally with the ball around there. There's a lot that can go wrong if you do that.
Well, like what St. George are doing, they're pushing up high up the field.
Again, this is very, very questionable.
Marginal.
Yeah, marginal. Very questionable. That, but you have to give the benefit because the assistant was right there running with his flag down. It's going to be a goal kick. This will be to Sebeta. Frimpong Mensu just manages to cut it off to bring it back to the center. Long ball down onto the right side, and you already will be seeing a little bit of what Frank Natal is all about in the St. George game. He likes to play on the wings and brings in the crosses. It's not so much about central penetration. Well, they have Getane Kebede as well if they want that girl, but we know from what we know about Frank Natal, he loves to attack from the wings.
Yes, a lot of wing play, and he has the manpower behind it. He has Abel Yaleo playing on the right-hand side of the attack, and also the very fast Manuel Mikhail also playing on the left-hand side of the attack.
Oh, this is pushed by Antenetis Fai onto the right side. Messiah Paulos and brings it back to the center. They've got a little bit of space as well, Sebeta. Stefanos brings it back to Tesfai. 8th position they are in the log with 18 points. Not too good being in mid-table. This is a good run by Osei Maoli, even though he's offside. gives a very good indication of the kind of communication he's got with the wings as well, and when he should take off and when the ball should be placed in front of him. Look at it, very quick, and it's not even offside in my opinion. There's Frimpong here on the other side.
Yeah, by the time the ball is being played, Frimpong is actually the one who's letting
putting him
in.
onside. Yeah.
And the good intentions from Osei Mawelu with his big structure and good speed and good timing. Definitely the kind of striker that Sebeta needed in this match.
Well, talk about a good signing in mid-season. And then getting a little time to gel with the team as well. But we'll see if that will put them in a good position. Now, the one worry you have is Sebeta playing around with the ball in their own half. It's not very comfortable because you almost see them going to lose the ball in that situation. Again, that's Osei involved in trying to get the ball off from the midfield. This is barely allowed. You always marvel at a player who can be able to come back into the defense and help with the defending, and who can also come to pick up the loose balls. That's him again, Osei, and he's brought it back to the center with some good speed as well. Well, looking for a chance to bring it in. Abdullah Victor Fils didn't do a very good job there for an easy ball that could have propelled them further. That's Tofiz again. And getting it back to try and bring it to the wing. Not very well thought out there. You can see a little bit of regret in the face of Vincent Gabriel Mariam. He assumed that Osei would be there. There's a big run from the St. George side on the right side. That's not Abo, but
Emmanuel
Gabriel Michael, who's trying to make a good run on that side. He's very speedy as well. He wanted to cut them off guard, didn't he?
He is. He's a very, very fast player. And one of the goals against Madagascar also being credited to him in the African Cup of Nations.
He was there,
qualifiers, yes.
He was there. Going to be a corner for St. George. If you want to call them in the America context, it will be Kidus Georgis. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 men in the box waiting for it. Lydia Tafese says, no holding, no pushing. Have your own space to play it. And then a right foot in swinger carves onto the outside. Kenea Manknet doesn't get his foot, doesn't get his head onto it. It goes out onto the other side. It's going to be a throw-in. Yeah, it's not Tal. It's going to be issuing his instructions. You've got to you've got to enjoy listening to a little bit of Scottish English, because that's what he's got, and he speaks a little bit too quickly. If you were impatient sometimes, you probably will not get everything that he wants to bring to you. The foul has been given here for Sebeta. Yeah, because of that tackle that came in very hard from Haida Sherefa. That is obviously a foul, Gilbert, isn't it?
It is a foul, Bernard. And Sebeta playing in very dangerous moments, trying to build the ball from the back. But look at how high St. George is pressing.
But that's about the 4th or 5th time they're trying to do that. And they actually put themselves in danger of losing the ball in their own goal area, which is very dangerous. I think they should play it up at the front first. And it could be the game plan to start from behind and deny St. George possession.
It's the style of play.
But that's danger out there.
It's very, very dangerous.
Well then, that space in between, just in front of the goal area for the Sebeta side, is providing a lot of fodder for the St. George side to be creative, especially in the midfield. Yeah, that's a danger. Oh, that's going to be a foul. Well, the referee left it, but Tani Kebede suddenly went very hard, in my opinion, on Mesai Paulos. And in as much as it looked like he was in the momentum of his moves, you know what it does. Now look at his left foot there. It simply stops Mesai Paulos from going for that ball. The funny thing, Gilbert, is he might just be adjudged to have been in the move, and it might just pass. There's not a foul.
Oh, he's a very experienced player. I mean, he put his body in between Mesai Paulos and the ball, and to me, I think that is
it's allowed.
It's allowed.
It passes.
Yeah, it just passes.
Yeah, it injures the other player, but it passes. Well, I guess we'll be taking a little break as well, and I can tell it's very hot. Even the referee needs a little swig of water in the field. And Lydia Tafesa, being a nurse herself, knows the importance of hydrating in temperature similar to what you will get at the Didadawa Stadium. For the Sebeta coach, Abraham Mebrat, with the experience that he's got as well, I think he must have crafted a style that he wants his team to play with, Gilbert, in this game.
He has, and don't forget that this is the coach who's been credited for mostly the Ethiopia national team qualifying for the AFCON.
The current national team qualification, why?
Yes, because the last time, the last game that he had was against Ivory Coast, and they actually won against Ivory Coast.
Okay.
And they went on to lose the Ivory Coast away from home.
That's fine, Gilbert. Let's talk about Sebeta, 8th position at the moment. What are you talking about the credit for him? Let's talk about his credit in the team. He's playing against this man who's got some very great credentials as well.
You have got to give it to him. I mean, he played a big role in the qualification.
Okay, we have.
Yes.
Now let's talk about Sebeta. Don't you think he must have crafted a way that they were going to play against St. George today? But that staying with the ball in their half there is dangerous, isn't it?
Well, I think it's just building from what we saw him in the last 5 games that he played in Bahar Dar, not losing a single match, winning 3 and drawing only 2. Yeah, so I think he's just building from that and already giving a very good account of himself.
Okay, Gilbert, you've given him so much credential. I still think it's dangerous playing with the ball in his box in that area. I'm still trying to find out whether that is the way he wanted them to play and the reason why. Probably trying to draw out the midfielders of the St. George side. But we'll see if that pans out in their favor or not. We're playing the 20th minute of the game so far. And Sebeta have possession. Defris has played it to Abdul Hafik Taufiz. This is going to go all the way to the goalkeeper now. Mintesinot Alo is not in his goal area. Should there be a little touch here, it would be dangerous sending it towards his goal area. And then they start it from their own half again. Abdul Hafiz tries to chip it for Bochashura. Haven't seen much of the man who's usually so much on the ball. It's become a very slow paced kind of winger today, Bochashura.
Yeah, there's really no feed coming from him. I think most of the attention has been taken away from him by the new inclusion of Osei Awelo.
Okay.
Yeah, because most of the balls are actually revolving
targeted towards him. Yeah, that would be the reason why. So a little bit of pressure has been taken off Bochashura. And that's why we might not see him so much. This has been adjudged a foul. The foul committed by Haile Michaela Defris. It's going to be a throw-in. And it's going to be for the St. George side. Tony Kibede. Now, he will be even penalized for a charge if he was to get that one. But the advantage has been played to Sebeta. I've got a good run. Good idea not to send the ball forward fast because there would have been an offside there. Cross, it's a hard one. Oh, it's been picked up, plucked from the air by Baru Negas. It still had too much power, in my opinion, Gilbert. Who would have wanted to put his head to that one? I think it was intended for a shot towards goal.
It was a very, very good run from Getu Haile Mariam on the right-hand side,
But he intended it for a shot towards goal. That wasn't going to be a cross at all. Uchashura still being part of the build-up for the side. He's slowed down a bit, I'm still insisting. Osei has moved it onto the right side. That's Shura. Has changed position as well. Tries to bring this one into the box. A quick run here by Ashale Otamene. Will win it for the St. George side. Well, they finally decide to move it forward with another chance for a good run down on the left side. Yeah, getting into the right position now. Try bringing a cross. It's too high for Abeli Aleo. It's some good build-up as well on the left side, Gilbert.
It was especially from the man who has really not come out to his elements, Kenaina Markna. Yeah, they're very big, tall, and he's very, very skillful. He's really not come out of his elements.
Yeah, they were reacting, of course, to this. And I think that was, this was a very hard shot, not intended for a cross at all. It came in from Getu Haile Mariam. Yeah, I intended to put this in the net, and Baru Negash does the right thing to be able to pluck it off the air. It had a little bit of jitters on on Frank Natal, did it?
Oh, it does. It did.
Worried him a bit, eh?
Yeah, it did. It did. The run was very good, and very good speed from Getu, and a very good cross from him.
Frank Pomensu wants to reciprocate that from the left side. Actually, they did reciprocate and went on a big run on the left side that ended into a cross. This comes to Bochashura for Sebeta. Oh, Bocha is gonna have to be a little bit faster. He's hobbling on one foot at the moment. This is a good ball to Osei. First chance, we see a shot coming from Osei. Blocked off by the goalkeeper. But he's got the instinct. It's there.
Oh, he has very good instinct.
Is there.
Yeah, and the communication from the pass right deep in the midfield and the run itself. Being a left-footed player, you expected that he would change the ball to his left.
Oh, is he left-footed?
Yes.
Well,
and
no one would have guessed.
To hit, yeah.
But he shot on the right foot.
He shot on the right foot. That was a very good instinct.
Going to go out of the field of play for a throw-in. Oh, that was quite a hot shot, and it comes right from the inside there. It was a good shot on the right foot. Baronigash does well to stop it, but Osei is just proving that he will be the go-to man for the Sebeta side. Yeah, the coach was a little bit worried. You know what he's telling the players. What's going on in your minds?
Anticipation.
Yeah, he's telling them to know that there's going to be something like that coming from the midfield. The interesting thing about Osei is he's not playing as an out-and-out striker, and his positioning every moment will actually mislead you. You'll not be very sure what he's going to do.
Yeah, he's playing on the right-hand side of the attack as a left-footed player, meaning that anytime he gets the ball, he wants to go on his stronger foot by cutting towards the inside.
And he knows that that's what you'll be thinking about. Yeah, so he goes on the right foot.
On the right foot.
Okay. Yeah. It's going to be a confusing player to watch and to mark as well. Trying to get himself into position. He was asking for the ball. It goes onto the left side and headed out for a corner. It's just a cautionary measure coming from Desta Demu, knowing that he had been outnumbered. While Bochashura was waiting for it on the right side. I think we're going to go for the water break now. Yeah. It's 25 minutes into the game in some sweltering heat. In the afternoon, it probably gets to about 30, coming down to around 29 in that area, and it's very important then to hydrate a bit. But as we hydrate as well, we must also hydrate our knowledge of football, Gilbert, and wonder what exactly has happened in the 25 minutes in the game if you were to analyze it.
Well, I think the team that has been on the ascendancy in this particular game has been Sebeta. They are controlling, they are managing the game very well. They are moving the ball. They know that it's very hot, and therefore they're regulating how they run by just moving the ball around and wanting St. George to keep on running after the ball. For St. George, they've really not had that impact that I was expecting from them, because as we all know, Frank Natal from Scotland, he is one coach who wants to play on the wings. The wings have really not materialized for him because the crosses have been very few, and they've really not made an impact moving forward. So maybe at this particular point in time, when they're on water break, they would want to make some changes, because there's definitely a need for some tactical change from.
Well, I think 25 minutes, Gilbert. I don't think they'll make any change right now. Maybe tactical in
the
field.
Yes,
yeah, in the field they would probably change the way they're playing and probably get a little bit of an analysis of the first 25 minutes of how they have done. And like we said as well, they might want to impress the coach as well, so they'll listen to him 100%. The coach himself will want to impress them as well. Patrick Matasi, the Kenyan goalkeeper, is back into the St. George side. He missed the entire leg of Bahar Dar. I think there was a little bit of talk about him at some point having left the team. He asked the coach where he was, and he said he didn't know where he was. Now, when a coach tells you he doesn't know where his player is, that's a bad sign. But I think Matasi is back as well in St. George, and Frank Natal could be the reason why he's back as well, because Frank Natal knows him from his days in Kenya, especially playing against the team that Frank Natal was coaching at that time.
Absolutely. And I think that has really motivated Matasi to be able to come back and try and get his first position back.
Well, we'll see what happens then after the little break, as we get back into the first game on the resumption of the Ethiopian Premier League. But in the Dire Dawa leg, we've had the Addis Ababa leg, and then the Jima leg, and then Bahar Dar. And now we are in Dire Dawa, and the last leg will be in Awasa. Just about 8 or so rounds of matches being played in one area at the resumption. This is going to be a corner that will be taken by Sebeta. They have Osei in there. Osei Mawoli in there. And two others as well, including Abdul Hafiz Tofik. And Stefanos was just lurking on the outside. I think this is the reason why. Lovely little ball back. Flag is up for offside. This is going to be a free kick that will be given to the St. George side. How do you think they should approach the game in this minutes remaining in the second half?
Well, I think they need to utilize the speed of Emmanuel Gebre-Mikhael and Abel Yaleo on the left and right side of the attack, meaning that very few touches in the midfield and a lot of movement from the two players that I've just spoken about, because Getane Kebede needs to get the feed, and he needs to get the feed in the prime position as a natural striker.
It's going to be offside, no doubt about it. It's going to be a free kick that will be given to the St. George side. Very hawk-eyed second assistant referee. That's Siraj Nurbegen. Really has caught them in that trap most of the time, so they have to restart it. Well, talk about just wasting time. Ashilo Tamene was about to start this one from a little bit of from a few steps away from where it is at the moment. Needed reminding that it's got to start from behind there. Going to go directly to the goalkeeper. This one coming off the head of the striker Emmanuel Gebre-Mikhael. Playing his 12th game for the side. 2 goals to his credit. Emmanuel has changed sides onto the right side, so that just means that Abel Yaleo will have gone to the other side. And a foul on the new man, Osei Mawoli. Is complaining about that tackle that brought him down, coming from the
Mintesinot.
From Mintesinot. I mean, he didn't quite expect it, and he's wondering how that is allowed to happen in this game.
He did it so quick.
It was very fast, wasn't it? He's wondering how that can be allowed in this game. I mean, Mintesinot had since moved on. And then back into the midfield. Stefanos will pick it up. Notices that Bolchashura is on his own, but Bolchashura is losing concentration. He was actually in the offside position and wasn't moving much on that side.
He's not in his elements. I think this is the third time. This is the third time. There's another, again, not an offside.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, there is somebody who's keeping him offside.
No, but maybe on the other side, there's one player who looked like he was off and then came back into the onside position. See, the problem is if you come back from an offside position, you're still offside. I think that must have been what was noted. Goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. This goes out of the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in. It's going to be for the Sebeta side. Natal obviously wanting to psych up his players. He's on his feet. Now the one thing they'll notice is that he's one of those coaches who don't sit down. He doesn't sit down on the bench. He will be standing all through the game. He will not leave that position. Frank Natal. A good idea to change direction, to try and bring the ball back into the center. Dulafik will pick it up. Stefanos chips it to Osei, but Frimpong brings it back. St. George looking for a chance for a shot. The ball spiraling away here. Yeah, that was very anxious moments, Gilbert. In as much as you're saying that, it's a good thing, I could see you're flinching. You are thinking that they're gonna make a mistake out of it. I know.
Yeah, some little pressure, from St. George would definitely give them something out of this, because Sebeta are really playing dangerously in their own half. It looks like that's the way they've been planning to build up.
The way they're planning to build up is dangerous.
It's a dangerous way.
It's a dangerous way to build up. Oh, the referee is very livid on Dawit Stefanos here. Seems to be giving him a little bit of a hiding. But Estefanos is answering back. I am in charge, I think that's what she's saying, and I will make the decisions here. And Estefanos had better listen, because, look, if a referee spends 1 minute telling you off,
then there's something wrong that he has done.
She's just substituting what would be a card for dissent, eh?
No. It's good that she's giving him a warning, a verbal.
Yeah. I don't know what David said there, but, say, on what is supposed to be his favoured foot, doesn't work very well. Frimpong, on the other hand, does a better left foot delivery. Goalkeeper returns it back into the St. George half here. And Destadem finally makes up his mind that he was going to clear that one. So it's going to be a foul here. Manuel Gabriel Michael has got to worry. And referee lets it pass for a free kick and nothing else. Yeah, it didn't look deliberate at all. It's just a question of losing your footing there. It's going to be a free kick. Dulafik gets it from Dawit and brings it back to him. It's going to go out to the right side. Not a very good delivery this time round. It's been picked up by the St. George side. Cross would be of no use here now. Needs to look for support from behind and wait for it to come. Not a very good delivery. Ultimately, it's to Emmanuel, who chips it again. This is offside, but also a very lazy attempt, Gilbert, to be able to put this ball into the net. A very pedestrian attempt,
It is a lazy attempt from Kenyan Mekane, who is actually moving more into an advanced position.
He's offside, way offside.
He is in an offside position. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I think he knew about it.
Yeah.
He knew it. He saw himself alone there, Kenyan Mekane, and decided he's not going to do anything nice there. He's got one goal to his credit, Mekane. And when he played in the last game against Awasa, he was subbed in the 58th minute. So Kenyan Mekane needs to increase the number of goals that he's got for the team. This is going to be given to the St. George side. We played 35 minutes, Gilbert. Nothing to write home about so far. Is it just because it's the first day of the games and the competitive edge is still not there?
Well, I did expect that. I did expect that from both sides.
But yet we think when they're fresh is when they should bring everything they have in it. Tahida Shorefa decides to put in a little bit of work. I tell you, this game can change drastically if there's a goal in it. It just changes everything and the way it's being played. Baru Negash will send it back onto the left side, where Frimpong is trying to run every time. Here is a good one. It's been taken off the feet of the striker, Vitsum Gebre Mariam. Should have known that as a striker when you're in there. Oh, your foot is the most sought after thing. Everybody wants to bring you down in there because they know that you're going to fire and you could score a goal for the side.
Yeah.
So you need to work a little bit faster, shouldn't you?
It's a good run. It was a very good pass, especially coming from David Stefanos, playing a very huge role, especially as a midfielder, and finding his strikers most of the time.
Oh, there is another one here. Gilbert, just relax.
Okay.
Don't let it hit onto your chest. I'm hearing you making sounds as the chance for a shot is coming in there. But for Fitsum Gabriel Maria, we should have worked faster there. They lost it. And Sebeta should know that when you're playing a team like St. George, you take your chances. When they come, you utilize them.
You should. And
because they will do the same on this side when they get their chance.
Yeah, they've really managed the midfield play. This is Sebeta. And completely outplayed St. George, especially in that midfield area.
Yeah, they're running the game at the moment.
Yes, and I was expecting St. George to try and free Frimpong Mensah and Desta Demo on the left and right hand side of the attack, so that they have their two, Emmanuel and Abel, trying to come into midfield.
Mebrat was a different idea.
That's the only way they're going to go through that.
Yeah, Mebrat is stopping them from doing that. So, going to be a throw-in. They're trying to rush it up at the front. Referee says it should be done from slightly behind there. And getting another chance to start it. St. George certainly haven't lived up to the elements. We have not seen their game yet, the one we know them for. I think Sebeta has a little bit played a spoiler's role in it. And they've totally just spoiled their tactical formation for the moment. This cross comes from the right side from Emmanuel Gabriel Michael, and it's very easily picked up. David Stefanos will start it. Chips it to the center. Tafik. Abdul Hafiz Tafik sets it up for Bochashura. Osei is looking for it. Bochashura's come into the box with it. Still some nice little fancy footwork. The cross to Osei, being matched by a Ghanaian as well. Frimpong is the man who's putting Osei Mamuli in check. Abel Yaleo must have been fouled in there as well, but it was not going to get to Osei, was it?
Oh, it wasn't. It wasn't going to get to. With Frimpong Mensah playing on the left-hand side of the... And that's the thing, that's the reason why he's not moving up to join the attack, just as we have already always seen him. And one man who's also missing is Eno Kadunya on the right-hand side.
You're talking about St. George?
Yeah.
Okay. Gonna go out here. It's a little bit of a change in the way that St. George is playing. That's the first thing you have to notice. There's a little difference in the way St. George is playing their game, Gilbert. And maybe it's the Frank Natal way of playing. Here is the chance for a shot. It's not accurate coming from Abel Lealeo. I think just overcome by that moment that the ball comes to him. He's all alone in there. This ball is punched away. He had the chance to even just control it before placing it, Gilbert.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying when you find your two wing backs moving up front, they give you a leverage and more players up front. And this is the first time we've seen Desta Demo bringing in the cross and Abel Yaleo just wasting that golden opportunity.
We got to play on the ground on the Sebeta side. Obviously from that clearance that came off the goalkeeper. It must be something from his own goalkeeper that catches him and sends him down on the ground. And we will wait for get to Haile Mariam to get a little bit of medication. You know, Mebratu has a way of crafting wins in some of the most difficult ways to analyze. He won 2-1 against Awasa, drew 2-2 with Diredawa, and drew 1-1 with Fasil. This, I think, is what happened here. Yeah, he got caught by the goalkeeper. And I think Getu El Mariam was just brave enough to go back to defend the ball from the strike, but he had already gotten injured in the process. I was talking about Sebeta and Abraham Mebratu. Having lost in 5 matches, drawing 2 and winning 3. And now crafting a little bit of a confusing kind of defense against St. George. This is Bochashura. Got company from behind, puts the ball forward for the cross. It's a very low one. David Stefanos was brought down much earlier in a professional foul that wasn't visible even to the referee at that time. By the time Adefris is bringing in the cross, David had already been brought down. Osei, left foot shot, bangs on the goalkeeper. Shielded for him by Ashale Utamene. But this man will change things for Sebeta.
He's an added advantage. Look at him. He gets the timing, the perfect chance to take a good shot with good power, but then the goalkeeper just denied him an opportunity.
Yeah, it's just the fact that he moves it onto his favorite foot and actually had an accurate shot on goal. That is a marvel to look at. There'll be a free kick. Now, if you get the feeling that the ball is getting onto the other side much faster than it has been in other matches, you're not alone in that feeling. There's a little bit of a reduced kind of size within the specifications of football fields anyway, Gilbert. But this is a slightly smaller field, isn't it?
A smaller field.
Yeah. So the shots get there much faster. And yeah, if you get the feeling that you can shoot from right in from the midfield, well, we're getting the same feeling as well. I mean, Tessin Otalo has just saved a shot that comes from one situation similar to that. A long ball. Again here.
He should have gone for that. He should have gone for that.
No, he doesn't have the match fitness, Gilbert. Let's just call a spade a spade. He's not showing the match fitness as yet, Fitsum Gabriel Mariam. This is a man who has scored 6 goals so far for Sebeta. The man you rely on here is a mistake on the defense here because of dilly-dallying too much with the ball. Again, Kebede also dilly-dallies with the strike.
Oh, the sharpness really lacking in that one, that particular instance.
And Getu as well, the sharpness in defense lacking, Gilbert.
Oh.
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah.
Until the Swire makes the first mistake. And here, Getu makes another mistake. It doesn't strike on time. Getu comes to actually save the situation.
Yeah, at that point, Getane Kebede would have struck a quick shot towards goal.
It's going to be a corner. Looks like a long one. Judging by where everybody's going, they want to come down on it, angle themselves down. Oh, this becomes a very short one. No, this is going to be a free kick that has been given to Sebeta. You've got a player injured from that turn that he was trying to make. He's back onto his feet. Kenyan Marknet. No, it's Sabali, I beg your pardon. Yeah. He had come all the way to the right side. And in trying to make that turn, just didn't get it right. Talk about a man who actually wants to, a man who knows he's come to work. Osei Mawoli is showing that intention, at least in this first game that he's playing for the Sebeta side. We had been told that they were importing a striker. But we didn't know it would come in the shape of Osei Mawoli. And he's already making an impact on the Sebeta side up at the front. So even though they dilly-dally with the ball on the half, they know that when it gets out there, it's going to be worked out faster. This is going to be a goal kick to the Sebeta side. The captain has got to do something for the side as well. Chested into the midfield. It'll be a foul on Dawite Stefanos.
Well, you can see the frustration of the captain.
No. What I'm bubbling at is Kebede is the only one reacting the way he has reacted to that. I mean, he's hitting from behind. The whistle goes, but you should see the reaction that he had, castigating the referee. Oh, this one again. An injury occasioned on Emmanuel Gabriel Michael by his own defender, who pumps the ball into him in the groin. And the pain, especially in this kind of hit, can be unbearable. A hard shot right into the groin. In fact, somewhere just between the abdomen and the groin there. So there could be a double injury on him from Desademo's shot. But then because the possession had been picked up by Sebeta, this is going to be given to Sebeta to start it. So a foul here. And the medics allowed onto the field of play. Physiotherapist is Mulune Becker. They have a lot of work, the physios, usually. And the medics allowed onto the field. A lot of work, the field of play. Physiotherapist is Mulune Becker. The physios usually in a game of football, but they rarely get the accolades for anything they have done. Mulune Becker then will just make sure that he gets him back onto his feet. Yeah, it's a hard shot, Gilbert, isn't it?
It is, actually on the abdomen of Emmanuel.
Just below the abdomen and the groin. I mean, the two of them combined, the injuries. So it's going to be a free kick. And Stefanos is trying to tell them that they'll have to angle down on it going into the goal area. Well, that's the first dummy that we've seen coming out. Mesut Mohamed was occasioning it, but Stefanos did not want anything to do with that one. I think he wants a different way of doing it. Baronegas is waiting for it as well. In a goal for the Kidus Georgis side. It still curves towards the goal area. Stefanos just gives it directly to the goalkeeper.
Oh yeah, that's a poorly taken free kick. Sometimes in the games that are very difficult like these ones, you expect those set pieces to be able to help you out, but that was poorly taken.
Very poorly taken. Directly to the goalkeeper. Well, started onto the left side to Haile Michaela Defries to start it for Sebeta. Well, the 1-2 combination doesn't work out for Sebeta. Gilbert, you haven't analysed for me the St. George side, because it's a totally different St. George playing on the field. I mean, the formation and the way they're attacking is totally different. And look at where Frimpong is. Frimpong is actually playing as a winger on the St. George side.
Well, we've really not seen him move up in the past few minutes of the game. He's really not added the width that we've seen him add whenever St. George is playing, so that has been the main undoing.
Here is Sebeta with a strike. It bounces off the goalkeeper, Mintesino Talo. It comes back onto the field. Sebeta finally busting into the scene from what didn't look very dangerous, although there were very many people in there. But Mintesino Talo as well, his hawk-eyed, puts his hands and his body against that ball, so much so that it bounces back into play. Frimpong now brings in the cross. Sebeta manages to get a corner out of this one. Trying to angle down on it and to accurately direct it towards goal. It takes a deflection off the defender for a corner for St. George. Oh, the goalkeeper has already issued the alarm, and then he punches it back. Does a good thing to remove it from his area. This is going to go out for a throw-in. It's going to be for Sebeta. I'm not exactly sure what I feel about this St. George at the moment, but they're actually getting the chances to shoot, and I think Natal then might be concentrating on getting the goals other than the entertainment value of the game at about this time, Gilbert. I'll make it easier for you in the way I'm seeing it. It's like a new tenant moving into a fully furnished house and then deciding to move around the furniture a bit. That's what I'm seeing has happened with the St. George side. I could be wrong, Gilbert. What do you think?
Well,
he's arranged the furniture a bit.
Well, Bernard, what I've realized with St. George is that they are playing with typical wingers.
Which is a typical Frank Natal game.
Yes, it means that your two fullbacks are really not getting into prime areas to be able to help into attack. If you look at Sebeta's side, they have the two wing backs. That is a
no. Leave Sebeta first. We're talking about St. George. And
typical wingers.
When you move into a furnished house, different from how Mahir Davids was playing. Frank Natal has changed it and is now employing a lot of wing play. There are some things that will remain the same in a fully furnished house as well. You will leave the microwave where it is. Yep, and you will leave the television, probably you will leave it where it is. The window will not move and all that. So those ones have not moved. But he has changed things a bit. Frimpong is playing more up at the front and is using more wing play with occasional balls coming into the center. Yeah,
you're right, Bernard. The biggest problem is that they only have one key person at the top. Anytime that the crosses are coming in, it's only Sebeta.
Yep.
Yeah, unlike in previous games where you'd find Emmanuel and Abel Yaleo in prime position to score. So
here is Osei trying to bring the ball out to the right side. It's quickly cut out for a throw-in. It's going to be for Sebeta. Yes, you're right about what you're saying. I think, we played the first half, Gilbert, haven't we? Inclusive of the added minutes, yes.
Yeah, 50th minute.
It was just opening up at that time.
Yeah.
Kenyan Makne missed a chance to change the fortunes of the St. George side, but it's half-time at the moment. St. George nil and Sebeta nil.
ለማስተዋል ለምች የበለጠ እረፍት ነበረው። በመጨረሻው የ15ኛው ሳምንት ውድድር አራት ነበር በቂ እረፍት አድርጓል። ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስም ሰበታም ዛሬ የነበራቸው ኢንቴንሲቲ በጣም አስገራሚ ነበር። ከሳጥን በርካታ ሙከራዎችን ያየንበት የመጀመሪያ አጋማሽ ነበር።
ባህሩ ነጋሽ በዛሬው ጨዋታ እንግዲህ እረፍት የለሽ ስራ ላይ ነበር ማለት እንችላለን። ተደጋጋሚ ሙከራዎች ወደ እርሱ ሲደርሱ ነበረ። በመስመር በኩል የሚነሱት የኳስ እንቅስቃሴዎች ለቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በጣም አስቸጋሪ ነበሩ። ሁለቱ የመስመር ተጫዋቾች በጣም ከብዷቸው ነበር። ይሄ በጣም አደገኛው ሙከራ ነው።
የዳዊት እስጢፋኖስን ትንሽ ስፔስ ካገኘ ትንሽ ግማሽ ስንዝር ስፔስ ካገኘ ምን ማድረግ እንደሚችል እይታውን የተመለከትንበት ነው። ከዚህም በተጨማሪ ግን የባህሩ ነጋሽን ንቃት በሚገባ የተመለከተ ጊዮርጊስ በዚህ ዓመት ባልተለመደ ሁኔታ በግብ ጠባቂ ሲሰቃይ ነበር። ምናልባት ባህሩ ነጋሻው መፍትሄ ሆነ ይመስለኛል።
የባህሩ ነጋሽ የዘንድሮ የውድድር ዓመት እንቅስቃሴ እንግዲህ ለቀጣዮቹ ዓመታት በኢትዮጵያ ብሔራዊ ቡድንም የሚኖረው ሚና በጉልህ እንድንጠብቀው የሚያደርግ ነው።
ከዚህ ቀደም ቦታ ነበር
ጥሩ ተጫዋቾች የዘንድሮ የውድድር በጉልህ እንድንጠብቀው ተጫዋቾችን የውድድር ዓመት እንቅስቃሴ እንግዲህ ለቀጣዮቹ ዓመታት በኢትዮጵያ ብሔራዊ ቡድንም የሚኖረው ሚና
ከዚህ ቀደም ቦታ ነበር በብሔራዊ ቡድን። አሁን በዚህ ፐርፎርማንስ የሚቀጥል ከሆነ አንደኛው ተፎካካሪ ነው ለቀጣዩ አፍሪካ ዋንጫ ግብ ጠባቂ ለቦታው ከሚፎካከሩ ተጫዋቾች መካከል አንዱ ነው የሚሆነው።
በመጀመሪያ ጨዋታ በሜዳ ውስጥ እንቅስቃሴ ጥሩ ነገር ማሳየት የአንድ ተጫዋች ያው ፍላጎት ሊሆን ይችላል። ነገር ግን አጋጣሚዎች መፈጠር አለባቸው። ኦሴማውሊ ዛሬ ጥሩ ነው።
ኦሴማውሊ ረጅም ጊዜያት ነው ከጨዋታ ውጪ የቆየው። ተጫዋቹ ፍሬሽ ሆኖ ነው የመጣው። ፍላጎቱ እንደገና ፊዚካሊ በጣም ዝግጁ ሆኖ ነው የመጣው። ያንን በሚገባ ተመልክተናል። በተደጋጋሚ ከጀርባ በተለይ በፍሪምፖንግ ጀርባ የሚያገኛቸው ቦታዎች የተጠቀመ አደገኛ ጎል ሙከራዎችን ነው ያደረገው። እነዚህ ሙከራዎች በባህሩ እንደዚሁ ደግሞ አልፎ አልፎ በራሱም ይበልጥ የተሻለ ሙከራ ባለማድረግ አባክኗቸዋል ማለት ይቻላል። ይሄኛው ግን ይበልጥ ግሩም ሙከራ ነበር ማለት ይቻላል።
የሚተው ስፔሶች አሉ። በግራና በቀኝ መስመር በኩል በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ የሚተው ስፔሶች አሉ። አሁንም ሙከራው የሚነሳው እዛ ቦታ ላይ ነው።
እንግዲህ ፍሪምፖንግ ብዙም ወደ ኋላ አይሄድም፣ ወደፊት አይሄድም። ደስታ ደግሞ ነው ወደፊት የሚያጠቃው። ግን ብዙ ስፔሶች ከጀርባ ይገኛሉ ከፍሪምፖንግ ጀርባ እና ያንን በሚገባ መጠቀም አልቻሉም እንጂ ብዙ ስፔሶችን አግኝተው ነበረ ሰበታ ከነማዎች። ኦሴማውሊ አሁንም እየተመለከትን ያለ ነው። በግራውም በቀኙም ጥሩ ኳሊቲ ያለው በተለይ ደግሞ በግራ እግሩ የሚመታቸው ምቶች አደገኞች እንደሆኑ ያየ ነው።
እነኚህ እንግዲህ በሁለት 10 ደቂቃዎች በ20 ደቂቃዎች ውስጥ ማለት ነው የባህሩ ነጋሽ 3 አደገኛ ኳስ ያዳነበት እንቅስቃሴው ነው። ስለዚህ ሁለተኛውም ግማሽ ላይ እንደዚህ አይነት ሂደቶች ከተፈጠሩ በተደጋጋሚ የምታደርጋቸው ሙከራዎች ወደ ጎልነት ሊቀየሩ ይችላሉ።
ጥያቄው ግን አሁን ሁለተኛው ግማሽ በዚህ ኢንቴንሲቲ ይቀጥላሉ ወይ ነው። በመጀመሪያው ግማሽ በእርግጥ አሁን አየሩ ፍሬሽ ነው፣ ይበልጥ እየተሻሻለ መጥቷል። ግን ሁለተኛው ግማሽ ላይ በዚሁ ኢንቴንሲቲ የሚቀጥለው የትኛው ቡድን ነው የሚለው በጣም አነጋጋሪ ነው። ሰበታ ከነማ በቢልዳፕ ነው የሚጫወተው። ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ደግሞ በካውንተር ፕሬሲንግና በመልሶ ማጥቃት ነው የሚጫወተው። ይህን ስትራቴጂ በሚገባ ለመተግበር ሙከራ አድርጓል ሁለቱም ቡድኖች በመጀመሪያው አጋማሽ።
በጨዋታው ውስጥ ከተመለከትናቸው የተጫዋቾች ውሳኔ መካከል ወደ ኋላ የተመለሰው ኳስ አውቆ ነው ወይስ አውቆ ነው የመለሰው? ባክ ፓሱ ብዙ የሚያነጋግር ይመስለኛል።
መጀመሪያ ላይ እኔ የፍጹም ደካማ ፈረስተሽ ነበር ይመስለኝ መኳንንት ደካማ ፈረስተሽ ነበር ይመስለኝ። በድጋሚ ምልሰት ግን ስመለከተው ምን ተስኖት ኳሱን ነክቶታል። ግን ምን ተስኖት ለባህሩ ኳሱን ለመስጠት ነው ወይስ ለሱ እንቶ በኋላ ይጠይቀዋልና።
ስለዚህ
እኔ ይሄ አጋጣሚ ምናልባት ግብ ጠባቂም በደንብ ያያዋል። የግብ ጠባቂ ፖዚሽን አይቶታል። ስለዚህ ግብ ጠባቂው በሱ ታች ተጠቃሚ እንደሚሆን ያውቃል። ስለዚህ እኔ ሁለተኛ ቅጣት ምት ሊሰጥ ይገባ ነበር ባይ ነኝ።
ዳኞች አንዳንዴ የሚረዱበት የነሱ መንገድ አለና በጫና ውስጥ ሆኖ ይሄን ኳስ ማድረጉ ወደዛ ውሳኔ እንዳትመጣ ያደርጋት ይመስለኛል።
በዛ መንገድ ሊታይ ይችላል።
እስኪ ወደ ሌላኛው የጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴ እንሂድና የአቤልን ሙከራ እንመልከት። አቤል እንግዲህ ተደጋጋሚ ጉዳቶች አሉበት ይሄ ልጅ። ነገር ግን በጨዋታዎች ውስጥ ጥሩ ሆኖ በብቃት ውስጥ ከተገኘ የሚያገኛቸው ሙከራዎች ወደ ጎልነት የመቀየር እድላቸው ከፍተኛ ነው። ይሄ ከሱ ነው ተበላው።
አቤል ቀደም
ቮሊዩም በጣም ሰቀለው።
ቀደም እንዳነሳው አቤል በተደጋጋሚ ጊዜያት ጉዳት መዳረግ ከሆነ የራስ መተማመኑ እንደዚሁም ደግሞ ፐርፌክሽኑን ያሳጣው ይመስለኛል። ይሄ ጊዮርጊስ በመጀመሪያው አጋማሽ ያገኘው ንጹህ የማግባት እድል ነው።
ጥድፊያ ያስፈልገው
ጊዜና ቦታ ነበር። እንደምታየው ጊዜ አለ፣ ቦታ አለ። ኳሱን ተረጋግቶ በጥሩ ፈረስተች ጎል ማስቆጠር የሚችልበት እድል ነበር። ፊቱ ላይ የምታየው ቁጭትም ያንን ነው፣ ጎሉን በሳተበት አጋጣሚ።
በዘንድሮ ውድድር ዓመት በፕሪሚየር ሊጉ ጥሩ እንቅስቃሴ እያደረጉ ከሚገኙ ተጫዋቾች መካከል አንዱ ነው ጌታነህ ከበደ። የኢትዮጵያ ብሔራዊም ተሸክመው ወደ አፍሪካ ዋንጫ ይዘውት ከገቡ ተጫዋቾች መካከል አንዱ ነው። በዚህ ጨዋታም አንዳንድ ወጣ ገባ የሚል እንቅስቃሴ እያደረገ ነው የሚገኘው። የሱ ሙከራ እንመልከት።
የከናን ማርክነህ እይታ በጣም አስገራሚ ነው። በበርካታ የሰበታ ተጫዋቾች መሀል ፓስ ያደረገለት ጌታነህ ትክክለኛ ውሳኔ ነው የወሰነው። ምናልባት የተሳሳተው ከውሳኔው ከግብ ጠባቂ ምን ተስኖት ፊት ለፊት ኳሱን መምታቱ ከግራ ወይም በቀኝ በአንደኛው ሳይድ መርጦ ቢመታው ኖሮ ጎል ሊቆጠር ይችል ነበርና በጌታነህ ስታንዳርድ ይሄ ኳስ ጎል መቆጠር ነበረበት የሚል እምነት ነው ያለኝ።
ምን ተስኖታል እንግዲህ ጌታነህ የመታበት ኳስ ላይ ፊት ለፊት ስለነበር ኳሱን የማግኘት እድሉ ለሱ ቅርብ ነበር። እስኪ በጨዋታው ውስጥ የነበሩትን የቁጥር ሂደቶች እንመልከት። በሜዳ ውስጥ እንግዲህ 45% የኳስ ቁጥጥር መሀል ክፍል ላይ ነበር። 20% የኳስ ቁጥጥር እንግዲህ በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ሜዳ ላይ ነበር። በሰበታ ሜዳ ላይ 35% የኳስ ቁጥጥር ነበር። ይሄ ማለት ሰበታዎች ከራሳቸው ሜዳ ለመውጣት ብዙም አይጣድፉም ነበር ማለት ነው። 11 ሙከራዎችን ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ አድርጓል። 6 ሙከራዎችን ሰበታ። አጠቃላይ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ 5 ኢላማቸውን የጠበቁ ሙከራዎችን አድርጓል። ሰበታ 3 ኢላማዎችን የጠበቁ ሙከራዎችን አድርጓል። ስለዚህ በሁለተኛው ግማሽ እንደተመለከትነው እንግዲህ ወደ 17 የሚጠጉ ሙከራዎች ተደርጓል። የተሻሉ ሙከራዎች የሚደረጉ ከሆነ ከድግግሞሽ ጎሎችን ልናገኝ እንችላለን።
በመጀመሪያው አጋማሽ ጎል አለመቆጠሩ ያስገርማል። 17 የጎል ሙከራዎች ተደረገው ጎል አለመቆጠሩ ያስገርማል። ሁሉም ነገር ነበረው ጨዋታው። በሁለተኛው ግማሽ ምናልባት ሁለቱም ቡድኖች የአጨራረስ ኳሊቲያቸውን ጨምረው ከመጡ ጎሎችን ልንመለከት የምንችልበት
53% የኳስ ቁጥጥሩ እንግዲህ ሰበታ ከነማ ይዟል። 47% ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ነው በኳስ ቁጥጥር ውስጥ የነበረው። እስኪ አታክ አናሊስት ወይም ደግሞ የማጥቃት ሂደቱ እንመልከት። ከመሃል የሚነሱ ፔኔትሬት የሚያደርጉ ወደ 7 የሚጠጉ ኳሶች ነበሩ። በሰበታ በኩል 5 አደገኛ ኳሶች ነበሩ። በቀይ መስመር በኩል 3 አደገኛ ኳሶች በሰበታ በኩል። በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ግራውንድ ተጠቅሟል። 4 አደገኛ ኳሶችን ይዞ ለመነሳት ሞክሯል።
ሁለት በማጥቃት እንቅስቃሴዎች በአብዛኛው ከመስመር የሚነሱ ናቸው። ካየው ፉልባኮች የሚተዋቸው ስፔሶች አሉ። ከዚህ በጨም ሰበታ መሀል ለመሀል የሚሄዱ ኳሶችን ከጊዮርጊስ የአማካይ ክፍል አግሬሲቭ መሆን ጋር ተያይዞ ብዙ ኳሶችን ከመሀል የሚነሱ ማጥቃት እንቅስቃሴዎች አልነበሩትም። በሁለቱም ቡድኖች በኩል ግን በአብዛኛው የነበረው በመስመር ላይ የነበሩ ማጥቃቶች ናቸው።
እንግዲህ በጨዋታው የተመለከታችሁትን እንቅስቃሴ በቁጥሮች እንዲሁም ደግሞ የጨዋታውን ሃይላይቶች ወደ እናንተ አድርሰን ነበረ። ሁለተኛውን ግማሽ የጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴ እንግዲህ እንድትመለከቱ ከወዲሁ የምንጋብዘው ግን ቅየራዎች ሊኖሩ ይችላሉ። በሁለቱም አሰልጣኞች በኩል የሚደረጉ የተጫዋች ለውጦች ሊኖሩ ይችላሉ። ጨዋታ የሚያሸንፉ
ምንም ጥያቄ የለውም። በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በኩል በጣም በርካታ አማራጮች አሏቸው። በተለይ አማካይ ክፍል ላይ የአብስራ እንደዚሁም ደግሞ ጋዲሳ መብራቴ ከተጠዋቂ ወንበር ተነስቶ ውጤት መቀየር የሚችል ተጫዋች ነው። እንደዚሁም የአብስራ ተስፋ ያለ እነዚህ ተጫዋቾች ውጤት መቀየር ይችላሉ። በአንጻሩ በሰበታም በኩል እንደዚሁ አሰልጣኝ አብርሃም መብራቱ እድሎቻቸው በሁለተኛው አጋማሽ ኢምፓክት ፕሌየሮችን ቀይሮ ለማስገባት የሚያስችሉ ኳሊቲ ተጫዋቾች አሏቸው። ግን በአንጻሩ ከተጠባባቂ ወንበር ተነስቶ ውጤት በመቀየር በኩል የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ኳሊቲ ምንም ጥያቄ የለውም። አይደለም በዚህ ጨዋታ በሊጉ ራሱ ከተጠባባቂ ወንበር ተነስቶ ውጤት በመቀየር በኩል ኳሊቲ ያላቸው ተጫዋቾች አሉት ጊዮርጊስ ነው። ስለዚህ በሁለተኛው አጋማሽ ከዚህ በመነሳት ምናልባት ጊዮርጊስ የተሻለ እድል ሊኖረው ይችላል ከተጠባባቂ ወንበር ተነስቶ ከሚነሱ ተጫዋቾች አንጻር።
እንግዲህ በሁለቱ ቡድኖች በኩል የሁለተኛውን ግማሽ ጨዋታ ልንጠብቀው እንችላለን። የአሰልጣኞች ደግሞ የተችላኝ ላይ ሆነው የሚወስኗቸው ውሳኔዎችም በደንብ የሚያስፈልጉ ይመስለኛል። በአንድ አጋጣሚ አሰልጣኝ አብርሃም መብራቱ ከዳዊት እስጢፋኖስ ጋር ወደ 20-30 ሰከንድ አካባቢ በስፋት እያወራ ነበር።
በኩሊንግ ብሬክ በማቀዝቀዣው ሰዓት ማለት ነው። ግን እንደውም አዲሱ የጊዮርጊስ አሰልጣኝ ፍራንክ ናታል በመጀመሪያው 45 ደቂቃ የቡድናቸው ፐርፎርማንስ ደስተኛ የሚሆኑ ይመስለኛል። ቡድኑ በደንብ ሴትል አድርጎ እንደነበር በመጀመሪያው አጋማሽ።
ስለዚህ ምን አይነት ሁለተኛው ግማሽ ልንመለከት እንችላለን?
ተመሳሳይ ሊሆን ይችላል። ግን የትኛው ቡድን ነው ሙሉ ፊት ሆኖ 90 ደቂቃ የሚጨርሰው የሚለው እንደገና ከተጠባባቂ ወንበር የሚነሱ ተጫዋች ኳሊቲ እንደዚሁ የቡድኑና የጨዋታውን አሸናፊ የሚወስን ሊሆን ይችላል።
እንግዲህ የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስና የሰበታ ከተማን ጨዋታ ሁለተኛውን ግማሽ ከድሬዳዋ ኢንተርናሽናል ስቴዲየም እንድትከታተሉ ከወዲሁ እንጋብዛለን። የቤት ኪንግ የኢትዮጵያ ፕሪሚየር ሊግ በዲኤስቲቪ ቤታችሁ ወደ እናንተ እያደረሰ ይገኛል። በአማርኛ የጨዋታ የቀጥታ ስርጭት ዮናስ አዘዘና ማርቆስ ኤልያስ፣ በእንግሊዝኛ የጨዋታ የቀጥታ ስርጭት በርናንዶ ቴኖና ጊልበርት ሰለቦ አይጠብቋቸዋል። በነገራችን ላይ ያመለጧችሁን ጨዋታዎች ደግሞ ሰብስክራይብ አድርጋችሁ የዲኤስቲቪ ዩቲዩብ ቻናል ላይ ሃይላይቶች መከታተል ትችላላችሁ። ጥሩ ጊዜ ይሁንላችሁ ተመልካቾቻችን።
Only 8 out of that game. Is that the true picture of what we saw in the first half?
Well, I think St. George really not running the game, but in terms of shots on goal, they've had 5 shots on goal. Of course, 2 coming from
but they have the higher number. They have the higher number of the shots on target.
And 3 from Kebede. So
yeah. But is it a true reflection of what happened?
It is. It is a very true reflection of what's happening.
The St. George actually did try very many times to shoot, but you know, we didn't have them on target. So just 8 in total for the Sebeta side. They've only had 6 attacks. It means they're probably going for quality attacks, but only 3 of them have been on target.
Yeah, and especially coming from Osei Mawilu and one from Titum Mariam. But really maintaining possession in the midfield. You can look at the possession in the midfield, 45 and only 35% coming in for Sebeta and 20% coming in for St. George on either side of the divide.
Now, when we look at the corners, does it tell us anything about the game? There's more on the Sebeta side than on the St. George side. They try to force it in there. And even if you look at the attack analysis, you know, the Sebeta side has used more of the right side, which is very interesting because I thought St. George have used more on the right side, and Sebeta have used
the central penetration.
No. This is only St. George, and how they have reacted. They've used more of the right side and less of the left side. Sebeta then has used more of the left side and less of this side.
Yeah.
Is that what it says?
Yeah, and a lot of balls being played, especially on Sebeta side, for the midfield penetration. 42% against 18% by St. George.
That would be a true reflection of exactly how the attack has been run on the game, the field. So we are just getting ready for the second half. Well, I think we have to look at the way we have to look at the changes. We have to look at what they might do in the second half, Gilbert. Coaches like to make changes in the second half. The Sebeta side seem to be very happy with some. And one of the men they always use is here on the bench, Gilbert, Fuad Ferreja.
Yeah.
He's a man who really likes to roll in the midfield. He's been out plagued with injury for a good time in the second half. Do you in the league? Do you think that they're going to be using him today?
Well, I think maybe in the last few hours of the game, because you look at how Sebeta have lined up today. The midfield is really in control of this particular match, and therefore there would really not be any reason for them to be able to change. In terms of the forward line, I think Bulcha Shura is the only person who is really not giving a full picture of himself and not very impressive as far as they are concerned. On the St. George side, it has been very, very evident that they have isolated Getene Kebede as the lone striker at the top. And we do expect that Abel Yaleo, who is playing straight on the right-hand side of the attack, and Emmanuel Gebre Mikhail playing straight on the left-hand side, will have more time into the attack, bringing the crosses that are required by the new coach, Frank Natal, to be able at least to get the necessary result. Kenan Marken on the attacking side of the St. George really has to push hard. Mulualem has not really been in this game. Mulualem Messin and on St. George attacking side, I've really not seen him in the game, and maybe a prime suspect for substitution.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Again, the coaches look at things very differently. I don't think this game has lived up to what the expectation was for both sides. I really don't think that Frank Natal would make a substitution now. We really haven't seen anything on the St. George side. So he's got to wait and see whether they are going to really tick and bust into what he has given them as the strategy for the game. So I think I would wait until the 70th minute to see a substitution in this game. And Frank Natal, I think, has just read the riot act. He's very bouncy, very bubbly. He looks very happy with himself in that side. Abraham Mebratu, on the other hand, looks like a man who knows he's on a mission. And he's just waiting to see how that mission is going to be fulfilled. In the last 5 games, he has not lost. That has been the mission. For referee Lydia Tafese, good control of the game. And he's just waiting to bring the second half as well into the same kind of control that the job of a referee demands as well. She's a nurse by profession. She was at the Chan Championships as well, and is said to be headed to the Women's World Cup as well. So, yeah, she's quickly just signaling for the substitution to be made. Here it is then. They are bringing in Gadisa Mebrate, who originally was supposed to be in the game, Gilbert, but they made a change, a late one. And so now he comes into the field.
Yeah, he's an attacking midfielder.
And he's substituting Abel Yaleo, isn't he?
Yes, and an offensive player. They're definitely going to see probably a reorganization in the attack, because Gadisa Mebrata is an attacking midfielder. And,
well, we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see, Gilbert, and see what the intention is. That's the only substitution I've seen so far, unless you've seen another one as well.
No. I think that's the only one that we've seen so far in the second half.
We are into the second half of this game. Yaleo out and Gadisa Mebrate into the game for the St. George side. Another man who really needs to bust into this game is Bocha Shura. In as much as he's got a replacement, somebody who's taking away, deflecting the attention. In the new substitute, the new player, Sei Mawole, he really also needs to come up to the table now. There's a big run down on the right side and a chance to try and go for a shot instead. Decides to cut it back into the midfield. That's Mawole, the new man who gets it onto Abdul Hafiz Tofik. And then to Fitzum, Gabriel Mariam. Well, Mawole is not new to the Ethiopian Premier League. The Ghanaian previously played for Mekele. It's exactly 1 year since he came into the Ethiopian Premier League. Well, misses a tackle here. It goes down onto the left side to Gabriel Mikael. This is to Frimpong. This is what I think Frimpong was expected to do by Frank Natal, to run up the whole length of the left wing and try and bring the crosses, because he's a natural left-footed player. I think the coach wants to utilize that prowess of the wing and the crosses.
Yeah, and we did expect that Frimpong was going to do that in the first half. He rarely ventured forward, and this particular second half, there's every intention that he's going to be plying his trade on the left-hand side, and therefore allowing Emmanuel Gabriel Mikael to join into the attack.
Out on the right side for Sebeta. I wonder what they discuss in the dressing room, the Sebeta side. And whether or not we'll see it being employed in the game. The long balls have already come into play. Bocha Shura again loses possession here. Lucky that it's going to be salvaged by Haile Mikaela Defris, who brings it on to Bitsum Gabriel Mariam. The cross again intercepted. Oh, this is a good ball to Kenya Mankne. He's got the height and he's got the speed as well to be able to use in this game. But he's waylaid by Mesai Paulos, who quickly takes possession of this one. Oh, this is headed back onto the left side for the St. George side. Manuel is brought down. It's going to be a foul just at the edge of the box. And I think the referee was in a very good position to know exactly where this happened, outside of the box. As much as Manuel was claiming that it should be inside the box, tried to point in there. There was obviously a very good decision made by the referee here. For Frank Natal, his first match for St. George. He needs to have it turn out eventful for his side. And by eventful, I mean it should be more memorable than what we have at the moment in the field. So while the wall organizes itself for the Sebeta side, the St. George side will also be organizing what to do. And I think Getu Mariam has gotten a yellow card for it. Oh, that foul that he committed. Oh, there's still Gadisa Mebrate just close by there, but he doesn't get the ball. It's a long one onto the other side. The cutback is not accurate, Gilbert. Gets off the field of play.
It isn't accurate, and I like what I'm seeing from Kenan Mekane. Is more of an advanced midfielder today. And most of the balls are actually being revolved around him. He just needs to be a little bit more calm in front of goal.
So there's probably something good in the change that has been made by Frank Natal. And now Kenya Markne as well is coming into the picture. This is Dawida Stefanos. Oh, this ball begs for anyone to pick it up from the midfield. St. George obliged. Getane Kebede tries to bring in a cross. That is also masquerading as a little bit of a shot, but it doesn't go anywhere. And send it back into the midfield. Oh, this is going to be a foul. It's coming off Mesai Paulos and from behind onto Gadisa Mebrat. Not Gadisa, but into Kenean Makne, who's turned onto the left side as well and is using that left side for the attacks now. Big push from behind. That obviously sends him tumbling down. It's going to be a free kick again to St. George. Frank Natal knows the value of these free kicks. He wants it to be used for its full value. So it's going to be a free kick then. Not sure if Haida Shorefa is the one who wants to take it, but he's closest to the ball. I think he will take it. Question is whether he's going to have a hard shot for it. Good idea to play it down onto the left side for Gadisa Mebrate, but the power on Haida Shorefa's foot then sends it too far away from Gadisa.
Oh yeah, it's something that they've been working out in training, definitely, and just that too much power that was exhibited by
Haida Shorefa.
It's
going to be a throw in here. Oh, something is going on here. There's a yellow card here. Most ostensibly, it must be for something off the ball here. And Haida Shorefa is the one who took that free kick. He was running back to his side. I think he's saying the same thing, but I don't know what he's saying to the referee. What he's done just in front of the referee. Seems to want to argue about it. He's got a yellow card. He's still throwing words here. Look, you'll never win a war of words with referees. They don't talk much, they've got cards. And only 2 of them will send you off the field of play. It'll be a foul here again. Getting a little bit physical in this game, especially between the 2 compatriots, Frimpong Mensu and Osei Baboli. Yeah, it's not the first time we've seen them getting entangled in a tussle like that one. A free kick to Sebeta. Haida is looking for trouble, Gilbert.
Yeah, I mean,
he is looking for trouble.
At this point, this is where the coach really needs to take, some serious action, because he might cost him. Might cost him.
Oh, you should be happy you haven't seen how defiantly he was walking past the referee when the referee cautioned him.
Well, he was
taken the free kick.
He was pushed into submission.
It's good to the St. George side. And going to come into the midfield. Not too much stoppage in this game as well. He's closing it down for the floor. But I think a foul has been committed by St. George. It's going to be given to the Sebeta side. Michaela Defris. When much of the attention in a game is suddenly being spent on cautions and stoppages, then the game loses a little bit of flavor as well. It's usually time for a definite decision to be made. I think Lydia Tafese has made that decision and cautioned Mr. Haida Shorefa. It's gone back to Sebeta, who have it on their side. Stefanos. Now realizing that they're not making headway, they decide to play it back to their own side and to build it up from behind. Yeah, I'm gonna do that to just try and remove them from their area. Well, Michaela Defris is not very happy that the goalkeeper decided to head this ball away instead of giving it back to him.
Well, I think, Bernard, the inclusion of Gadisa Mebratu has really changed the way St. George are playing, because now they have more men in the midfield, and therefore they've really cut out the midfield play that was being exhibited by Sebeta in the first half.
Well, they're picking up more of the balls in the midfield now. The St. George side, a little dummy here. The flag stays down. Then the shot from Emmanuel Gabriel is not accurate. Oh, I think now the flag goes up then. That's a late flag, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But I think he was offside and he comes back. But, you know, it takes a little time, and that's what is worrying me, because that's already an offside. Again, here he was offside. But he already takes the shot before the flag goes up. You know, that provides for very anxious moments when that happens.
Yeah.
The flag should go up immediately, you notice him in the offside.
Yeah, it should. The second assistant actually took some time to be able to make that decision.
He probably rolled it in his mind and reconsidered it and had a VAR in his mind and then decided, okay. Yeah, he made the right decision, but just a little bit late. I think he's been quite on point, the assistant referee. It's a throw-in now. Picked up in the midfield again. This comes to Frimpong Mensah. That's him on the ball at the moment. The Ghanaian on the St. George side. And then Emmanuel Gabriel. Clearance done. As Sebeta now get back onto possession. Abdullah Fisto fixed ball doesn't get to the intended man, who's the captain, Nasib Mohammed, and that's why St. George have it again. Looking for a chance at a shot towards goal. Big one, off target. Gonna be a goal kick.
Yeah, that's the new man, Gadisa Mebratu. Really added a lot of punch in that midfield. And Sebeta looking subdued, especially in the midfield at this particular point in time.
Now, Gilbert, don't confuse Mebratu for Mebrate.
Yeah, Mebrate.
Mebrate is the player. Mebratu is the coach. And Mebratu just walked past just now as well, going to give instructions. And I wasn't sure if you're talking about Gadisa or Mebratu.
Yeah, Gadisa and Abraham.
Yeah, you could call them that.
Yeah.
You could call one Gadisa and the other one Mebratu. Or Abraham and Mebrate. Yeah. On the right side of the attack, Jose has been injured by Frimpong Mensah. Just like we noticed, he kicked me, that's what he says. But it's going to be given to Frimpong Mensah. I think Jose is right. I think here it is again. Frimpong actually did kick Jose. Why is Jose the one who's guilty of this one? Oh, he said it almost in pidgin English, you know. I heard him saying it, that he kicked me. I'll tell you, there's some very warm air blowing towards us across the stadium as well. Most likely feeling like it's carrying a little bit of rain in it. Yeah. It's supposed to be some rainy season in Direda, which usually runs from March, April to May. This is a good ball now. The goalkeeper is offline as well. But he does a good job of stopping Gadisa Mebrate from converting it. And Mintesido Dalo has done a good thing in coming off his line as well and putting his body into the line and playing as the last man there.
Yeah, I like what Getane Kabede is doing. When you put a lot of attention on him, he becomes the provider and not the man who's actually in the prime position to score.
Okay, but I was talking about Mintesino Talo, and I thought you would compliment him for what he did. You just complimented somebody who was not in that attack, Gilbert. You're very generous today.
I'm generous.
Yeah, you're dishing out a lot of accolades to people we don't have as yet. This is going to be a foul. It's pretty obvious. Save the accolades. And when they deserve it and we are seeing them, you can give it to them as well. He's headed out by a hard-working man in defense for the St. George side. I don't know what is lacking in this game, Gilbert. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a goal, but maybe just the very accurate and sharp finishing from either side is not there.
Yeah, it's the icing on the cake. And the cake is already there.
No, there's no cake yet, Gilbert. They're baking it.
We've seen some good attacks coming from both sides of the divide, but again, the final pass, the finishing part of it.
So we can't talk about the cake yet. We'll talk about the ingredients of the cake. And some ingredient is missing. Some ingredient for it to then be a cake, and then after that, the icing on the cake. Is what I'm still trying to find here.
It depends on which cake you're cooking.
No.
You bake.
All cakes are baked the same, Gilbert. They've got to bake first. And then after that, after it's become a cake, you decorate it. And then after that, you put the icing on the cake. Now, you can't put the icing in the mixture as you're still mixing it. How? Anyway. So much about cookery as well, and baking for that matter. It's going to be a free kick for Sebeta. Coming out to the right side. Well, Davida Stefano's also now playing as a fulcrum. Abdul Hafiz Tofika send it on to the left side. Here's Buchashura. And then a good ball onto the left side again. Still in play. Oh, it's gone out. The referee says it was out of the line here. This is the man who tried to bring it in from the left side. Didn't get very good fortune on that side, Gilbert.
But that's very good movement. It's been very good quick passes in between the three players. That's Masood and Tofik, and then finally to Defries on the left-hand side of the attack. But nothing sufficing from that end.
And comes back into the midfield. Very different way in which St. George is playing, to be honest. But shot, heavy one that comes from Getani Kebede. And in the process as well, Getu Mariam catches the boot of Kebede as he's taking that shot. It goes into his abdomen. You obviously know what happens when that is what you catch in your abdomen. A little bit of gas goes out, and yeah, it was a hard one. But he's the one who got himself into that line. Gadisa can as well think about what happened there. It's going to be a free kick for the Sebeta side. 19 goal attempts. This goes off the field of play. Not much of the feed is getting to a say now on the Sebeta side, Gilbert.
It isn't. It isn't going towards him at all. And it's just because of the reorganization of St. George in the midfield that has denied Sebeta any movements moving forward.
Going to go out of the field of play. This will be a throw-in. And this will be for Sebeta. Aida Shorefa just making sure that he's covering his area. There's the push. We'll be back to the defense with Antene Tesfaye playing it to the goalkeeper, Mintesi Notalo. Now, one thing you'll notice about Mintesi Notalo is he's enjoying playing out of his line, more like the last man in that defense. And if it was the previous St. George, I can tell you for sure they would have waylaid him by now. They would have, because they would have found him offline a lot of times, Gilbert. But in the current form that St. George is playing, I don't think they have that in their plans.
No, I think all they want is what we'd call direct football. They want to get into the opponent's half quickly and through the wings. And that's just the style that Frank Natal brings onto this team.
This is onto the left side to Frimpong Mensu. Was looking for where to take it to, but receives it back. Tries to bring it back into the center. Kebede. And Abdul Hafiz to Masood. This is Osei now. That was going to be offside. He can't chase it. But he should have let it go like that. If Bolchashura had been chasing it, then there would have been no offside. But I think as a player up at the front, Fitzo was really inclined to touch it. I mean, he was not going to just let it go.
He was at this particular point.
But he wasn't offside by the time the ball is being played. He's not offside.
He wasn't offside at all.
Yeah, he should have just taken off. That's a decision that will have to be looked at again. Out on the right side for St. George. Suddenly not sure about how they are going to be building it, especially from the midfield. It's become very, very unpredictable the way they are going to run it from the midfield. The throw in to Haida Shorefa. Changes the wing completely. Frimpong. Not deliberate from Getu, but he gets a yellow card all the same. Getu Alemariam for that. I think Frimpong, if that's going to go to Getu, then he's going to be in trouble. I think that's the second yellow card. It's going to be a red card then. Now, if Getu has another yellow card, those are 2 yellow cards.
Yeah.
I think Lydia Tafesa will have to look into our records.
Interesting.
No, it's not interesting. I think I've recorded it in my list as a second yellow card.
Yes.
And the first one is just in the 48th minute of the game. So then this should be a red card up. Well, we'll wait to see what happens here. This is pushed into the area and then the header. Oh, a long push trying to get him off the ball here. It's going to be a very dangerous place to try and pick up the ball from by Manuel Gabriel Michael. Actually, he was running the danger of injuring himself there. Should have just let it pass. This goes back to Antenetes Fire. St. George with Haida Sharefa looking for a place to shoot from. He shoots directly into the hands of the goalkeeper, and this one that goes over from Getani Kebede, who also in the process gets his boot onto the goalkeeper, Mintesi Notalo.
That's a golden opportunity.
Oh, it is.
That's a good run by...
This one was hit into the goalkeeper, but the second one goes over. It goes out. He was hoping it would have gone into the net. It really must score the first goal
and he goes
after joining this side, Gilbert.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Gadisa should have put St. George ahead. And even in that rebound.
There's going to be a change here. There's going to be a change, Gilbert. Let's take this change first. And the captain himself is the one who has handed it over to Getu. I'm still trying to come to terms with the fact that Getu is still on the field on my list. Bjerglin Elias is the one who comes into play. What do you make of that change, Gilbert? Elias is a defender.
Yeah, he's actually been pushed to a holding midfield role. I think they're just trying to give him some playing time to try and stabilize that midfield, because Masoud Mohammed making some what I would call some silly mistakes at the back.
The cross has been intercepted. This is going to be a handball. So it's going to be given back as a free kick to the Sebeta side. I think then there's going to be another change. From the other side, you can see that, they're making another change, bringing in Fuad Ferreja. Now, one of the better midfielders in Sebeta side, who takes the place of Bocha Shura. And something, in my opinion, must have happened to Bocha Shura, because he's not his usual fast, fleet-footed self.
Yeah, he wasn't in his elements, especially in the first half and the most half of this game. So it's a very good substitution by Abraham Mebratu. Well, normally when they're in the game together, it flows very nicely. But when the coach has got choices, he must utilize his choices as well. This is headed back to the other side. It's going to be the St. George side that is trying to bring the ball across. The goalkeeper has it and has picked it up. Well, again, it's a good cross. It's a good cross from Manuel.
But it's picked up well by the goalkeeper. There's got to be communication between the defenders and the goalkeeper, especially on the Sebeta side. Now, that's the second time that the goalkeeper is banging onto his own players. And this time it was Fuad Ferreja who has come into play just a few minutes ago. You don't want him getting injured too early in the game. Gilbert, I think I just figured out exactly what happened earlier on. And the communication has come in as well. There was a little bit of a confusion. It wasn't Getu who was yellow carded in the 45th minute. It was Masoud Mohammed who was yellow carded at that time. I think it was in the 48th minute of the game. And now we've got it cleared. We think we know why Getu is still in play here. Another chance to try and put this into the net. And it doesn't go very well.
It's a good run. It's a good run by Kenan Markkanen. Of course, the goalkeeper coming out at the nick of time Mentesnot Alo.
Well, Kenyan Makne is a striker. The ball hits him again after it hits the goalkeeper. As a striker, you know that's a chance to convert it the second time. I think he missed it that time round. He's getting a lot of feed as well, Kenyan Makne. Sebeta now bring it back into the midfield. Osei has a touch on it. When you're a good striker, as Osei is, then you have to come and get the feed. Then it becomes very difficult to be the man who is targeted for the passes. Very quick turn by Ashale Otamene. He knows that he's got lots of men who are angling for that ball. Fitzum Gabriel Mariam is keeping him in tabs, picked up position, but then didn't have anybody to support him. Ida Sherefa has it in the midfield. Long ball down on the right side. Gadisa Mebrate is on the run looking for support. Manages to veer back into a good position, but Antenetus 5 will stop him. Oh, Antenet still trying to find out who to play it with. St. George pick it up again. Oh, water break. Okay, bang on the 70th minute. I was really wondering what had happened in the game to one and that kind of stop it. I thought there was an indication that the game is over.
Well, I think Sebeta needed this one more.
Do they? Tell me why. Why do you think so, Gilbert?
It's a game of two halves. I think Sebeta controlled the game in the first half, and St. George is a very new side in the second half of the game.
Look, Haida is still not very happy about something that happened earlier on. The hiding that he was given earlier on is still tormenting him.
Oh, it is.
And he's still, he's like he's got a referee who's understanding, who tells him exactly where it went wrong.
He was pushed to submission. He had to say yes, ma'am.
Did he?
Yeah.
No, he has to say yes, ref.
Yes, ma'am.
No, yes, ref.
Oh, yes, ref.
Yeah, that's what he has to say here. What do you think Frank Natal is telling them here?
Well, I think the reorganization in the second half has really worked for him. And just by the inclusion of Gadisa Mebrate on the right-hand side of the attack. Remember, Gadisa is a left-footed player, and therefore, anytime he gets the ball, he cuts towards the inside, and has given Destademo some time to be able to ply the trade along the line. So they are controlling the midfield. They are having the final touches in the...
But they don't have a goal, Gilbert.
But they good passes through the center to the strikers, but the strikers have not been clinical enough.
Yeah, because all that will add to some very good statistics when we look at the statistics. The number of passes they had, you know, the number of corners they had, but they don't have a goal when they had the chance there. The Sebeta side might not have such good statistics, beautiful statistics, Gilbert, but what do you think they're being told by the coach on the other side? We know that they won by 1 goal against Awasa. They won Wolkite by 1 goal. They won against Adama by just 1 goal. I mean, they score on average 2 goals at the maximum. Actually, on average, 1 goal.
Yeah, they've been on the ascendancy the last 5 matches, and I think the first half that belonged to them, they should have made something out of it. And the second half is really proving not to be the kind of game that they wanted. And therefore, the coach is a little bit apprehensive. Now, let's attack sparingly. And if you can get a goal, that's fine. If you can't, then a draw would also be as good as a good result.
So you're thinking Mebratu is playing for a draw here?
Yes, that's why they brought in Biadglin in that midfield, the central holding midfield role.
Okay. 18 minutes of play remaining, 17 and a half if you'd like. I think there's a little bit of a speed that is being employed by St. George at the moment. Just telling you that they're realizing the urgency of the situation. This goes off the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in. It's going to be for the St. George side. Antenetus Fire was trying to get himself onto that. He has a touch on it that sends it off the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in. Foul on St. George. A free kick will be given here as well. Time's quickly running out for St. George. They wouldn't want to record another draw as yet. Won 2 out of 5. Lost 1 out of 5. Drew 2 out of 5. I'm not sure they would want to put it as drew 3 out of 5. And with a new coach as well. But that's just thinking. Mathematically and emotionally. On the field of play, things work totally differently. It's going to be a free kick here. Yeah, it takes a little long to be able to take the free kick lead here. The center referee was explaining to the wall how they are supposed to stand, what they should shield in their body when the free kick is being taken, for obvious reasons. The impact can have devastating effect. The goalkeeper very easily picks this one up. And Tessin Otalo has been up to the task in everything that he has been doing in goal today for the Sebeta side. And also quickly starts this one down on the right side. Getru's running for it. It's just too long, it goes off the field of play. Do you think they have to measure how much power they're putting on this ball on the account of the field as well, Gilbert?
Because
they're very sparing in the power they're giving it.
The size of the pitch, and remember they're coming from a very nice pitch in Bahadar, very big, very huge, very wide, very long, and therefore they have to make an adjustment. This is just the first match, maybe the second, third match, they'll be able to realize that.
Not to mention that it is within the specifications.
It is.
For a football field, and it is still the Diradawa International Stadium. It's just that it's a smaller of the specifications. This is a foul on Mesai Paulus. We got another player on the ground here. Is it Haida Sharefa on this other side? So two players down on the ground. Mesai Paulus from something we saw, a little bit of an unfair tackle. And for Haida Sharefa, off the ball, it looks like. The referee says let him be attended to off the field of play. Comes into a little bit of a difficult situation when you have two players down on the ground. Here it is from an earlier. And he seems to intimate that somebody stomped onto his arm, but it's his feet that hurts the most from an awkward landing at that time. 75th minute, Gilbert, and this is the one that knocks Mesai Paulus out. That hand from behind. What do you think they should change now?
Well, I think for Sebeta, it's very evident that they've gone into the defensive board, because you've seen them moving back in numbers. St. George have pushed more people forward, and therefore they're attacking more. So the best way for them is that you hold back and try and hit St. George on the counter. For St. George, they need to continue putting pressure on Sebeta until they, crack at the moment, at some point.
Well, it's going to be a free kick for St. George. We'd almost forgotten that Baru Negash is in this game, especially in the second half, because we haven't seen him so far in this game. They're shielding him very nicely and keeping the strikers of Sebeta away from him. This is back into the midfield. And then again, we got another player on the ground as well. And
it should be Emmanuel.
Manuel seems to be injured there. It's going to be a free kick.
They've really not given Emmanuel time and space to be able to operate the way he does.
Yeah, we'll see him in the picture at some point. But here is Osei asking for the ball. Yeah, they're doing well to cut down on everybody else. Mawoli Osei gets a yellow card. I don't know why he would want himself to be carded at this moment. It's just the first game of the matches that will be played in Diradawa. I think there's going to be another substitution here. So Duresa Shubisha, I think, is the one who's coming in for the Sebeta side. And that will be the third substitution they're making in the game. And they're pulling out Fitzum Gabriel Mariam. He's caught in the game against the Wasa, Gabriel Mariam, and he's got 6 goals to his credit, but today's game, Gilbert, has really gone against him.
Yeah, it has.
Especially the second half has not been favourable to him.
Yes, it hasn't been favourable, and I think by bringing in Duresha Shubisha, it's going to be a tactical change, because now Osei Mawili will go and play as a central striker and allow Duresha Shubisha to play on the left-hand side of the attack.
You think so?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Let's see it happening then on the field of play. An intended cross is intercepted. Now Mawoli is the out-and-out striker. He's got speed, he's got tact as well. And he's trying to get past his marker, Ashale Otamene.
He's a real fighter.
Well, you need that kind of man to be able to trouble the defenders up at the front. And he's been left to that role at the moment. It's going to be a throw-in for Sebeta. A cool breeze sweeping through the stadium at the moment, but it's more of a wind that is sweeping through. This is intended for Frimpong Mensu, but he's not going to get to him. That's the new man, Shubisha. Attempted clearance by Biatlin. Now what are they appealing for? I mean, that's just the chest. Everybody's shouting as if this big crime that has been committed there. Mawoli will be offside, for sure. From where he was running, I think the assistant referee was just waiting to see whether he's going to have a touch on the ball. It seems to be quite sure about it. It's going to be a free kick to St. George. 10 minutes remaining in this one. But this one, there was nothing. It was the chest. There it is. Puts the chest onto the ball and pushes it out. This would have gotten to Mawoli, but he leaves it behind as he's moving on. And a clearance that sends the ball off the field of play. 10 minutes, Gilbert. What do you think should be changed in this one?
Well, I think both sides changed tactically. Sebeta deciding to go defensive and hit on the counter, while St. George decides to go fully on the offensive side, but not really making a mark.
Nice little pick here by Sebeta. Mawoli was part of that build-up. It's come onto the right side, looking for a chance for a shot towards goal. They're appealing for a penalty here. Nothing doing. And now everybody working with some speed, knowing that time is of the essence. David Estefanos to Tofik. And Tofik tries to cut back, gets to Mawoli. Oh, say Mawoli, try to get it across onto the right side to Duresa. Biatlin is trying to put himself in there to pick up the possession. Say, the fighter that he is, still gets himself onto the ball. Ultimately, it ends up with Baru Negash. First time that we've seen him in about 15 minutes getting onto that ball. The St. George side has wanted to push it forward. This is a nice little touch, came off Fuad Fareja. He's Osei with a shot that forces Baru Negash to put everything that he's got onto that one. And that's probably the hottest moment of this game so far from the Sebeta side. That's a shot that was going for accuracy.
Very, very, very good technical application there from Osei. He knows that he puts power. But again, look at the goalkeeper right in the right spot to be able at least to parry that one out.
Well, that's the go-to man on the Sebeta side. And with another midfielder employed in this team, Fuad Fareja, having come into the field, that's him. They're getting a little bit more in terms of delivery up at the front. The accuracy is what they need to work on. This is cleared by Baru Negash. And then picked up by Biatlin, out on the right side. Subisha. He's got Frimpong to beat here. But Frimpong goes in the right direction. Doesn't fall for that dummy. That's going to work for the St. George side. Do you think the scoreline will change in the 8 minutes remaining, judging by how it's being played?
Well, I think both teams are of equal status. I mean, if you look at the moment, yes, the way they are playing.
The St. George fans will not agree with you.
Yeah, they're equal status. Equal status. I mean,
they will think that they are in the 3rd position and Sebeta is in the 8th position. How can they be of equal status?
They are definitely of equal status. When it comes to the field of play, they've really gone at each other. First half belonging to Sebeta, second half belonging to St. George. And the goals have not just come.
Well, that's what we are waiting for with Duresa Shubisha getting onto the ball, veering away from Frimpong. Abdul Hafiz Tofik, good ball down on the left side, sneaks it into the area, but this one just goes over. Fuad Fareja had a chance to just change the scoreline altogether for the side. Kevin is a substitute, he's encountered injuries. Nice sneak through by Abdul Hafiz.
That was a nice pass by Abdul Hafiz, and Fuad Fareja gets the ball off the right-hand side and again just fails to connect that ball.
He gets the better of the defenders, moves into a good position. And in between Ashale Utamene and Desta Demu, he should have shot directly, not lifted it up. But I guess it happens very quickly sometimes. And it's easier said than done as well. Again, this is intended for Fuad Fareja. But Baru Negash is quick to get onto that one. and starts a quick build-up for the St. George side as well. Well,
those are pensive moments of Frank Natal. I mean,
the interesting thing, Gilbert, is that the two hottest moments of this half have actually come from Sebeta.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Those were the most likely moments for a goal for the Sebeta side. St. George must have realized that as well. They're running down on the right side. Oh, this is going to be a corner, says the assistant referee. But some pain coming from Messiah Paulos, appealing to the referee, saying he's been fouled there. Yeah, again, it's parried off. And was saying Mawone was appealing. I don't know what he was saying, but he's probably saying my head is not where it's supposed to be, because that boot went right up to his head. He was appealing for a foul there. They got the advantage, which they've lost very quickly as well. And again, it is Sebeta who pick it up after St. George tried to rush things up, Gilbert.
Yeah, they're trying to play now what I would call individual football. They're really not playing as a team. That is St. George. If you look at Sebeta, they are more organized in the last few minutes of the game. They are playing as a team, knitting the passes together and waiting for the right moment to give a pass.
Oh, that would be a little bit of a tragedy if they abandon team tactics and start working individually. Essentially, all your team effort, all your individual efforts should translate into team efforts as well, should work together. But I guess sometimes when things are difficult, then you have to bring out the better side of your individualism. Haida Sharef has finally been substituted in this game. His place has been taken by Sebeta Tesfaye. What do you make of that, Gilbert? Sebeta Tesfaye is playing his 12th match so far.
Yeah, I think that there was an injury on Haida Sharef. You saw him pulling an hamstring, and I think the coach
an hamstring?
I mean,
not an hamstring.
A muscle pull.
Yeah, it's probably a muscle, yes.
Yeah, so just trying to rest him and bring Sebeta Tesfaye, who also plays in the same department.
In the midfield.
Yes, same department.
Well, we'll see what changes Sebeta Tesfaye can bring into this one. As Kadisa Mebrata tries to make foray up at the front forward for Eja. It's very unfortunate to be injured 2 times. He got injured somewhere in the rib cage. That put him off the game for so long. And when he came back into the game, he again got injured. This time on the knee or somewhere. That's him now in very good control. Looking more like the man that we know as a midfielder for the Sebeta side. Barunegash brings it back into the midfield. Stefanos. And it's just going to go to the goalkeeper again. Barunegash will start it. Takes a very big shot of it. Some haste here being employed by Frimpong. Is one of those defenders who can turn 360 degrees and still have very good control by the time he's taking the ball. Goalkeeper. Again, I insist there has to be communication between the defenders and the goalkeeper, because the goalkeeper actually saw what he wanted to do. He knows that he was out of his line as almost like an infield player. And he cleared the ball, but the defenders did not cover him. What happened to Fuad Fareja? Again. Yeah, he's been tackled on the other side.
That's Mulualem, Mesfin.
By Kalkidan Zelalem. Isn't that him? So I beg your pardon, that's
Mulualem.
Mulualem.
Yeah.
What have they done to Fuad? Is he back on his feet?
He is. You would say that he's prone to injury, but the very, very highly technical player. You'd expect that anytime he's in possession of the ball, then the defenders will never give him time to be able to do what he's known to do.
It's the 88th minute. Actually, we're playing the 89th minute. So Mebrata is still issuing instructions, hoping that something can change with 1.5 minutes remaining. That something can change with 1.5 minutes remaining. Still consulting about what they want to do in this game here. That's Frank Natal from Township Rollers, Hearts of Oak, and a couple of other teams in Africa, including in Sudan, comes to Ethiopia, to St. George, a team that has not won in the last 3 seasons, looking for a title since 2017. He's headed back into the midfield. Gilbert, we are counting the seconds now into the 90th minute. What went wrong? What went right?
Well, I think being the first match being played on some high temperatures, of course, and players coming from a lull, 10 days lull, I think it has just given us an indication of exactly what we are expecting in the coming matches.
Now you're saying it's going to be like that in the coming matches. You tell me about this match first of all.
I'm saying
what did not go right? What did not go wrong? Yeah.
Well,
for Sebeta, what went right?
We have not seen the sharpness.
The sharpness isn't there. So the match fitness is definitely not there.
Yes, on both sides.
The sharpness on the strikers wasn't there as well.
Yeah, on both sides.
It's a cross. I think it takes a little deflection here. Oh, the goalkeeper will pick it up easily. And I think also they needed to take time to get to know the field, because that has been another problem as well. There is some high grass in some places and some empty spaces in some places which need to be mastered early enough. I think a foul has been given here for that tackle by Getane Kebede, which was totally unwarranted. He was just risking getting a card for no reason. The goalkeeper knows very well that time is of the essence and just quickly wanted to restart it. But Mintosine Dalo had to wait for a little for that foul to be taken. The whistle has gone again because it's wasting time. He's being told to start it on the other side. I don't even think there'll be time to get back there. I think the referee says you should have waited for the whistle. There's so much of this going on in the game that it slows down everything else. We are already playing the 92nd minute of the game. We've got 4 minutes of added time on the clock. And Mintosine Dalo is the man who will take it. 0-0 is the scoreline. It's the 16th game for the St. George side and the 15th for the Sebeta side. Abdullah Fiz had left it and tries to bring in the cross. Good turn back into the midfield. I'm playing it to Yesbira Tesfaye. Frimpong knows the value of time and sends it up at the front. Kenyan Makne was trying to shield it away. Jose to Abdullah Fiz Tawfik. Down on the right side then to Uresa Shubisha. Tries to bring it across. That doesn't go past Frimpong. They're all camping on that other half. Kebede will get it for St. George. Now they've been forced to all go back into the defense. Uresa Shubisha. There's just 3 men up at the front and 5, 6 yellow jerseys marking them. Now that tells you they'll be unmarked if they were to go in a man-to-man marking. But for Dawid Estefanos, he finds space on the left side. I think Sebeta have decided to just move it around, Gilbert, and run the time down, because you'd expect that this, with the possession, this would be the time they'd be going for the kill. But they decide to just push it back right into the midfield. The danger is when you lose it. And St. George pick it up again. You got just about 30, 40, 50 seconds remaining here. A cross comes in, headed out by the man who took over the captaincy. Get to Haile Maria. Another chip from St. George. This is headed out for a corner. They will be in a hurry to take this one, Gilbert, won't they?
They will. That's a golden opportunity. It's a half a chance, we call it. A corner is a half a chance. And therefore, they need to know how to organize it and make something out of it.
Oh, there's going to be 4, 5 men in the box. For St. George waiting for it. It curves, but too far away from the goal area. And goes up the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in. playing on natural grass as well, changes things a bit. The referee says, started from behind there. Frank Natal says, where are my men? Where are you? Who's marking who? Oh, I think there's going to be a substitution here. Is it on the St. George side? Yeah, they bring out Kenyan Makne. Too late in the day, in my opinion. And who comes in his place? Abraham Getachew. What do you make of that, Gilbert?
It wasn't necessary.
It was not necessary.
It wasn't. I mean, the game is already over. And,
well, it's just to run a little time as well. And I think it's been sent to the goalkeeper. Baronegash will start it for the side. According to our counter, we've already played the 94 minutes of the game. That substitution has been made. It's going to go out for a throw for St. George. Frimpong Mensu brings it back to the center. Kebede just swings his foot as long as he gets onto the ball. That sends it forward. That's all he was looking for. It's frantic defending as well from the Sebeta side, telling you that they wouldn't want to concede a goal at this time. They want it to remain as it is.
And at this point in time, Bernard, I think the best result would be a draw for both sides. I mean, they had some equal chances to score, but never utilized their chances. So, for me, 1 point for each would be a good result.
Well, Gilbert, you're almost saying they could have discussed this over coffee yesterday and decided not to play today. I mean, the competitive edge of the game demands that anything happens even at about this time of the game. I would have... no, the best games are usually the ones that have goals. You know, it would have been 1 point each even if that's scored 1-1 or 2-2 or 3-3. Yeah. But now just a 0-0 draw, surely. It's a dour draw. Well... Frimpong just goes so hard on his compatriot for no apparent reason. A hard one into Mamuli's, upper body for no reason. There's Frimpong. It's very deliberate. And you can see where his boot is going. The ball is up in the air. The boot doesn't need to go in that direction, does it, Gilbert?
Yeah, that's a typical foul.
Oh, that's unfair. It's totally unfair. And yet again, they're not going to get anything out of it.
Are they calling for a simulation on Mawuli? That was a foul.
I don't understand that decision, Gilbert. And I'll let it play. But here is a cross. Sebeta will have a chance to remove it. But that's the final whistle. At 97, Lydia Tafese brings it to a stop. The first game in Diradao in the Ethiopian Premier League. The first game for Frank Natal, the coach who has taken over the St. George side from the South African Mahir Davids, is a 0-0 draw. And for Abraham Ebratu as well, a man whose team is lying in the 8th position, he picks up 1 more point, gets it to 19. I don't think that will swing him very far off. But that's the score that he's got. It will remain him in the same place. It will leave him in the same place. But we'll see what happens in another game that is coming up immediately after this one in the Ethiopian Premier League. But from the Diradao International Stadium, St. George, 0. Sebeta, 0 at full time.
የድሬዳዋ ኢንተርናሽናል ስቴዲየም ያስተናገደው የመጀመሪያው የቤት ኪንግ የኢትዮጵያ ፕሪሚየር ሊግ ጨዋታ የሰበታ ከተማና የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ነበር። ሁለቱ ቡድኖች በጨዋታው ምንም ጎል ሳያስቆጥሩ እንግዲህ 0-0 በሆነ ውጤት ተጠናቋል። በሁለቱም ቡድኖች በኩል ግን ከፍተኛ የጎል ማግባት ፍላጎትና ጉጉት ነበረ። ጎሎችን ለማስቆጠርም ጥረቶችን ሲያደርጉ ተመልክተናል። ነገር ግን ወደ ውጤት የተቀየረና ነጥብ ለማግኘት የተቻለበት እድል አልተፈጠረም። ከጨዋታ በኋላ ሁሌም እንደምናደርገው ለአሰልጣኞች ጥያቄ እናቀርብና ከጨዋታው ጋር በተያያዘ የሚያነሷቸውን አስተያየቶች የምንሰማ ይሆናል። የመጀመሪያው ጥያቄ የማቀርበው ለአሰልጣኝ አብርሃም መብራቱ ይሆናል። አሰልጣኝ አብርሃም መብራቱ በመጀመሪያ ከልብ አመሰግናለሁ። ብዙ የጎል ማግባት እድሎች ነበሩ፣ በዛውም ልክ ደግሞ ጥድፊያዎች ነበሩ። ከምን የመጣ ነው?
እንግዲህ ከረጅም ጊዜ በኋላ የመጀመሪያ ጨዋታችን እንደመሆኑ መጠንና የመክፈቻውን ጨዋታ በአሸናፊነት ለመወጣት ከነበረን ጉጉት የተነሳ ብዙ ኳሶችን አምክነናል። ይህ ደግሞ ዛሬ የመጀመሪያው ሳይሆን ከዚህ በፊትም እንደዚህ አይነት ተመሳሳይ ችግሮች አሉብን። አንድ ሶስተኛው የነሱ የመከላከያ ስፍራው ስንገባ ትንሽ የመረጋጋት ሁኔታዎች ይቀሩናል። እሱን ማስተካከል ይጠበቅብናል። በተረፈ ግን ለሁለታችንም ጥሩ ጨዋታ ነበር ማለት ይችላል።
በ21ኛው ደቂቃ አካባቢ ይመስለኛል ከዳዊት እስጢፋኖስ ጋር ረጅም ነገር እያወራህ ነበርና ምን ነበር የምታወሩት?
ዳዊት ልምድ ያለው ተጫዋች ነው እና እሱ የኛን ተከላካዮች ኳሱን እያስነካ የሚያስወጣልን እሱ ነው። ስለዚህ በተቻለ መጠን ኳሱን ተቆጣጥረን እየጫወትን እነሱ አንድ ሶስተኛ የመከላከያ ክፍል ውስጥ ቶሎ እንግባ ነው መልእክቱ። ያንን ደግሞ ያው ሰከንድ አፍ አስተካክለው ሰርተውታል። አመሰግናለሁ። እኔም አመሰግናለሁ።
እንግዲህ ተመልካቾቻችን ቀደም ሲል እንደተከታተላችሁት ከኢንስትራክተር አብርሃም መብራቱ ጋር ያደረግነውን ቆይታ ነው ያደመጣችሁት። የጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴ ውስጥ እንግዲህ የነበረውን አጠቃላይ ቁጥራዊ አሃዝ እንመልከት። 48 ከመቶ የኳስ ቁጥጥር መሀል ክፍል ላይ ነበረ። 25 ከመቶ የኳስ ቁጥጥር በሰበታ ሜዳ ላይ እንዲሁም ደግሞ 27 ከመቶ በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ሜዳ ላይ ነበር። የፖሴሽኑን ወይም ደግሞ የኳስ ቁጥጥር አጠቃላይ 90 ደቂቃ ስንመለከት 51 ከመቶ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ የተሻለ የኳስ ቁጥጥር ነበር፣ 49 ከመቶ ሰበታ ከተማ። ነገር ግን የግብ ሙከራዎችን ስንመለከት ወደ 25 የግብ ሙከራዎች ተደርገው 10 ኢላማቸውን የጠበቁ ሙከራዎች የተደረጉበት ጨዋታ ነበረ። ከጨዋታው በኋላ እንግዲህ የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊሱ አሰልጣኝ ፍራንክ ቆይታ የሚያደርጉ ይሆናል። ኮች ቴንክ ዩ ፈርስት you create 9 chances in the first half but not killing it. Are you disappointed?
Well, we got ourselves in good situations to score the goals. Yeah. We created a lot of chances, as you said, and it came from good teamwork before that to make sure we got the ball in the first place. So, we take the positives from that. We got the ball, we got in good goal-scoring situations, but of course then we want to try to finish the game then.
What do you say about the goalkeeper, Baharu Nagash? He's busy today. Is he a match winner today?
He was reasonably busy. He wasn't overly busy. And I thought he handled his role very well, as I would expect.
You use a 4-3-3 in paper. How do you rate your fullbacks today?
I thought they did very well, Mansour Edwin is not normally playing there, so I thought he did very well to come into that position. Desta did well, worked very hard for the team, kept it organised, followed the instructions. So pleased with them.
Thank you, coach.
Okay, thanks very much. Thank you.
እንግዲህ ቀደም ሲል ከጨዋታው በኋላ የሁለቱን አሰልጣኞች አስተያየት ተከታትላችኋል ተመልካቾቻችን። በቁጥር ደረጃ እንግዲህ ያለውን የሁለቱን ቡድኖች አጠቃላይ እንቅስቃሴ ስንመለከት በደረጃ ሰንጠረዡ ያላቸውን ቦታ እንግዲህ ለማስተካከል ሙከራዎችን አድርገዋል። በተለይም 25 የግብ ሙከራዎች የተደረጉበት ጨዋታ ነበር። ነገር ግን ከነኚህ 25 የግብ ሙከራዎች ውስጥ ምንም ራሱን ወደ ኢላማ የተጠጋ ሙከራ ለማድረግ ቢችሉም ወደ ጎልነት የተቀየሩ ግን ጎሎች አለመመልከታችን እጅግ በጣም የሚያስገርም ጨዋታ አድርጎታል። በደረጃ ሰንጠረዡ እንግዲህ ያለውን የሁለቱም ቡድኖች አጠቃላይ ቁጥራዊ አሃዝ ስንመለከት በደረጃ ሰንጠረዡ ያላቸውን ቦታ አንዳንድ ነጥቦችን ይዘው ነው እንግዲህ እዛው ላይ ሊቀመጡ የቻሉት። ለውጦች በቀጣይ ሂደቶች እንግዲህ 3 ነጥቦችን የሚይዙ ከሆነ ሁለቱም ቡድኖች የደረጃ ሰንጠረዣቸውን ሂደት ሊያስተካክሉ ይችላሉ። የቤትኪንግ የኢትዮጵያ ፕሪሚየር ሊግ ጨዋታዎች እንግዲህ በዚህ መልክ ይቀጥላሉ። የቤትኪንግ የኢትዮጵያ ፕሪሚየር ሊግ ጨዋታዎች ሁሌም ቢሆን ወደ እናንተ የምናደርስበትን ጉልበት ይዘን ሁሌም ቢሆን የናንተን ፍላጎትና የናንተን ስሜት ጠብቀን እንግዲህ ወደ እናንተ የምናደርስ ይሆናል። ለዛሬው የነበረን የቤትኪንግ የኢትዮጵያ ፕሪሚየር ሊግ ጨዋታ ይህን መስል ነበር። ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ከሰበታ ከተማ 0-0 በሆነ ውጤት ጨዋታቸውን ጨርሰዋል። ጥሩ ምሽት ይሁንላችሁ።